Steam Next Fest just wrapped up, so on this episode of Playlog, we're telling you about the rest of the demos that we got to play. Hey everybody, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming, but of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that'd be boring, so I've got my partner in crime, the play.nice.kids themselves, Topher. What's poppin', homie?
I am still drowning in demos that I still want to play.
Felt. We're in that post-Next Fest moment of like, all right, which of these demos don't work anymore? What got taken down? What's still up? And then I'm like, I downloaded this one. Why did I download this one? I'm not going to play that one. I don't know. What a fucking mess. But we're here. We're alive. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good, I think. What did I do?
That might be. Yeah, maybe. It's going to be the weird thing of like, I'm asking you on Tuesday how your weekend was, but they're hearing me ask you on Thursday. Like, what the fuck? Why you ask? I'm like, shut up. Let me ask my question.
See, but since it's Thursday, I can't remember the weekend. It's been too long.
Felt. Mine was Monster Hunter.
I can imagine. Like,
yeah,
how
baby.
long? You streamed it on Friday, right?
It was about
how
8
long
hours.
did you stream for?
About an 8-hour stream on Friday. we played all day. It was a good time. And then ended stream, went on a walk, came back and played some more. Played a lot on Saturday. Well, we played Rivals for stream, ended stream, went and played more Monster Hunter. I've not played much since Saturday. We beat the main story. We're in post game, which is where the real shit starts. That's where you're getting some of these tempered beasts, which I've yet to run into. I basically did the first quest post roll the credits, and then I fought another monster, which is like, oh, this guy's back, hooray, or this gal, if you know what I'm saying. Monster Hunter fans know. But yeah, I haven't played too much more after rolling credits, but I was telling you, I'm like, that's probably the plan tonight. We're gonna record this, export Monster Hunter. Let's go.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were the indie guy.
You know, sometimes I am. Most of the time I am. But sometimes, you got these, oh my God, I got to play Celeste for the book club. Oh my God, I have to play Redacted for a review coming up. I'm like, fuck you guys. Monster Hunter, baby. This is a good game.
Oh, wow.
No, it's a rarity, right? And like the last couple years have been so like indie focused, and like it's going to remain that way. I fucking love indies. But like... the amount of AAAs I like 5 years ago, Danny, would have made time for, they go on the shelf, and I'm like, I spent $70 for a game that's still in the wrapper. If I could go back and look at all the games that have not been opened, I'm like, oh, I got to stop buying these. I know I have Assassin's Creed Mirage, I have the Dead Space remake, I have Resident Evil 4 remake, I have Callisto Protocol. I have so many games. I'm like, I could stream this. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to play this one. I have much better games to play. So just saying, guys, be like me. Play less AAAs unless it's Monster Hunter. Or a big PlayStation exclusive. That's kind of my vibe. It's a good time. It's a good time to be alive.
It is.
But anywho, real quick, I'll give you guys a couple little housekeeping items. Quick reminder, if you enjoy Fallout, AAA games, and tabletop RPGs, then boy, do we have the show for you. Sunday nights, we'll be streaming our new series, Fallout 313. Run by the astonishing LB Hackemup. Fallout 313 is a role-playing adventure using the, I think it's Modifius. I don't know how to say the company name. Modifius system that's all about rolling not one D20, but 2 D20s. Ooh, pause for effect. I'm playing Finn, the very intelligent super mutant who's far too gentle for his own good and just wants to sniff some flowers. We just streamed our premiere episode this past weekend on the Hack Recklessly Twitch channel. If you want to catch up right now, you can do that, and it might be on YouTube soon. I don't entirely know what the upload schedule is. You have to ask LB that. I don't know, but we'll find out. And then, like I said, it should be up YouTube eventually. But then you can join us Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/hackrecklessly. That is HACKRECKLESSLY, in case you need that spelling. First session this past weekend. I like Finn. Finn's a cute little guy. He's just a big old super mutant. He's like, oh, people don't like super mutants, but I moved him. Shit. I have a whole bouquet of fake roses sitting here that like, the thing is, when I meet people, I give them the flowers. So they're like, oh, he's approachable. Or, God forbid, if I have to kill people, I'm like, sorry, friend. And put the rose in their chest, like, goodbye. You know? But like, Finn's trying not to fight, but if it hurts my friends or my flowers, I kind of have to. But, yeah. It's a good time. I'm excited. Another quick reminder, as part of our podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club. We go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. And for the month of March, we'll be playing Celeste. Help Madeline survive her inner demons on her journey to the top of Celeste Mountain. In this super tight platformer from the creators of Towerfall, brave hundreds of handcrafted challenges, uncover devious secrets, and piece together the mystery of the mountain. Play the game this month on your preferred platform, then head over to our write-in form in the description to give us your thoughts on Celeste for our March 25th episode of Playlog podcast. You can join us live at twitch.tv/CGDannyB for the discussion, or catch the upload just a few days later on youtube.com/CGDannyB. You say you started Celeste already? You going and playing some less?
I have played some of it before Next Fest started.
Yeah.
Not that much, but it felt so good to get back into that world.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. I'm loving it. I'm having such a good time.
The controls are just so tight. Like
it's wild, man.
There are very few platformers that handle as well as Celeste does.
Yeah. Oh, God. Man. Sure Me Okay Games. I'm sorry to see Earthblade go away. That sucks. I couldn't wait to see it. But whatever's next in 10 years, can't wait.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. I'll be there. I put again, not to get too far because we got demos to talk about, but I did my our shitty, unfortunate timing of we do these on Tuesdays, the news drops on Wednesday. I'm like, fuck, now it's not a part of the podcast, so I gotta cover it separately. But I had this nasty-ish comment of what I said something to the effect of what if they make a Celeste 2, right? That would, their follow-up, let's go back to what we know, etc. So I was like, what would you even want out of Celeste 2? Madeline's story is pretty fine-tuned. I'm like, relax, homie. It doesn't have to be it's not called Madeline 2. It could be somebody. It could be anything. It could still be the same mountain and new characters, or see another character, or it was a Theo game. I don't know. I don't know. Him dash and everything. But regardless, that can still exist. It doesn't have to be the same character, same stuff. And I was getting the likes in the comment. I'm like, okay, cool. The people get me. This little ingrate, fuck yourself. But I digress.
Yeah, Celeste 2, I'd play it.
I would totally play it, 100%. I don't necessarily need it. I'm fine with just Celeste as it is. But if we get another Celeste, who's gonna complain? You know what I mean? We've willed in Moonlighter 2. I'm sure somewhere along the line, I'm willing in Wild Frost 2. I might as well will in fucking Celeste 2. We work with it. We run it. God, Moonlighter 2's this year, baby. I can't fucking wait. Anyway, but yeah, that's some housekeeping. Quick indie news, which we're not going to do a whole mashugana about because I just saw it and I just said, hey, look at the news. Let's talk about it real quick. Acclaim Entertainment is reborn as an indie publisher focused on original IPs. I just read from another one, but we're going to use Eurogamers by Ed Nightingale. Long story short, Acclaim, you guys remember this old logo? Look at this. Look at this classic logo right here. Acclaim. Look at them. God. They're back. They've been dead for a long time. They closed 2004. The studio closed from bankruptcy. Now they're like, hey, we're back. They've published Turok. They published some Mortal Kombat. I think I mentioned they published Sheep Raider, which was the Wile E. Coyote Looney Tunes game that I played that game so much. Never beat it because it was too hard for 5-year-old Danny, but 30-year-old Danny might be able to take that shit on. We'll see. But that's it. I'm saying, if we get a fucking HD remake of that shit, I'm going to go so fucking hard, Tony. I'm going to put so many hours in that guy. I'll get the platinum. I'll do whatever. Acclaim. I should check first before I even go running my mouth, right? Sheep Raider publisher. Lol psych. That wasn't even Acclaim. That was Infogrames. Never mind. Forget everything I said. None of that mattered. My heart remembered that. But anyway, the important thing was they'll be republishing some IPs that they have, as well as becoming an indie publisher. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I would love an indie take on Turok.
Ooh, listen. Run it, baby. Run it. Yeah. I've wanted to do more of them, but I did a video a while back where I was like, hey, Riot Forge is a cool thing where indie developers get to use the League of Legends IP to make indie games, and I love that. But then they shut it down. So I was like, I have my League of Legends friends give me 3 characters, tell me what they do. And I'm like, what publisher or what developer could make a cool idea with this, right? And I took Action and gave them to the Way of the Pacifist team. And I'm like, oh, this is a cool idea. There's some cool shit here. But I think if they were like, hey, we have Turok, who can make a cool Turok game? It doesn't have to be the classic format, just whatever formula we have. I think it would be really fun. So I'll take what
Strange
we can
scaffold.
Let them sleep.
No, they don't sleep anyways.
Obviously they don't. Obviously they don't. What are they working on? What are they working on
after I Am Your Beast, can you imagine them taking on Turok?
That'd be pretty fucking sick. That'd be pretty dope. Honestly, don't even do I Am Your Beast. Do the click holding. Make Turok into click holding. But also, I mean, they did El Paso Elsewhere, which would be a pretty sick. Maybe not for Turok, but anything like, oh, we did this? Sunshine Show. I'm just looking at their shit now. We don't have to do this. But yeah, Acclaim is back. So everyone cheer.
Let's hope that they manage to like eke out their spots in within indie publishing.
I'd love it. I'd love it, dude. And listen, the more indie publishers, more games getting published. Let's go, baby. Let's run it. Let's do it. Give me more games. But yeah, that's the news. If you want more on that, be sure to read the Eurogamer article. I like Eurogamer. They have a cleaner website than some of the other ones we opened here. I mean, some of them are fucking purple boxes all over the text. What was that shit, Toba? But now we want to talk about the rest of our Steam Next Fest. If you guys stuck around, you know last week was already a 2-hour episode. We talked about some of the demos we played. Now we're going to talk about the rest of them. So buckle in, team, because it's going to be a ride.
It's an 8-hour episode.
Brother, I was going to play Monster Hunter tonight. What do you mean 8 hours? You'll be waking up by the time we finish that. That's like your bedtime.
That's true.
But before we get into what we've been playing, Topher, you had some quick thoughts here. I guess I'll let you run that. Go ahead. You ask me a question.
Yeah, I was wondering if you found the time to play all of the demos you wanted to play, because I struggled with that.
Absolutely not. I did not. I still have like a big old clump of icons on my desktop that weren't touched that like I said, I have to do the like, are you still up? Okay. Are you still up? Oh, cool. No, you're gone. Like that, the typical Steam Next Fest cleanup every year. But no. And I think that's just unfortunate timing and maybe a change of like content programming that we've, I guess I'll say that I've done for this Next Fest. Cause again, Monster Hunter came out. Which, if I didn't have friends play Monster Hunter, I probably could have pushed that back. I'm like, oh, cool, we're good. But then, like, Connor's like, yo, we're streaming all day on day one. I'm like, okay. And then you get the itch. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to put this down. I just wish this was, like, next week instead, or Steam Next Fest was last week or something. But then couple that with, you know, we were streaming through Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. We were playing Marvel Rivals and more Monster Hunters. So, like, typically we do, hey, we're streaming Steam Next Fest demos like 3 days of the week, and we're playing 5 to 6 demos and doing it. So like I didn't do that this time around. So that's usually the biggest outlet I get to play most of the games. But yeah, this year was very much just like sitting on my own, headphones on, whatever show. I watched an episode of Cobra Kai while playing some of these. But like, yeah, I didn't do a lot of content stream wise this time for Steam Next Fest, which definitely like took down how much I would typically play for these kind of events.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I actually wrote an article for So Many Games about this.
Yes,
because I had all week to play games. Like I had to do my like stuff around the house and go grocery shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time was dedicated to Steam Next Fest.
Yeah.
And I have touched nowhere near everything that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I downloaded about 90 demos.
Damn.
I think. But considering that Next Fest had over 2,000 demos,
barely scratched.
That means that I downloaded less than 5% of everything that Next Fest had to offer, and I still only got to play a fraction of that. And it made me wonder, and that's what the article is about. Like, is Next Fest maybe just getting a bit too big, like too overwhelming?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously read Topher's article. It's very important to do that. Check that out. But I would say so. Like, I think what I do enjoy about Next Fest is seeing the games that I'm like, oh, I totally had that wishlisted. Wait, I didn't know this had a demo because I didn't have it wishlisted for some reason. Like, I know some of these games I checked out at PAX or like missed the chance to see at PAX. I'm like, oh, I have to play this demo now because I missed it before. But yeah, there was just this choice paralysis of there's so much shit. Like there's so many games to download. There's so many games to look at. We mentioned last week, there's so many games that look alike where I'm like, which one of these is going to be like the good one, where like I download the one, I'm like, I probably should have checked out this one. It probably would have been a little bit better in XYZ reason, but it's just so much to check out at any given time. And I'll even say like last Next Fest, I wasn't as bogged down with like, I say bogged down, but like I have reviews, right? I have games I'm playing early that I need to cover, so I need to play that. And then we do the book club, so I need to play that. So there's always I have to make time for the other things to plan for the future as opposed to making everything right now. That's tough when there's just like a butt ton of demos to play. And I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Steam Next Fest just pull back a little. Like I don't want to see them be like, sorry, we only have 100 demos this time. We're very selective, but 2,000 demos is a lot. And we mentioned last week of like, I'd love to see with the dev, it's like, we did not have a successful Next Fest. Like it was not worth it to us, and see if that's, were we too early? Was there, oh, of course the Hades 2 demo was a part of Next Fest. So like everyone was paying attention to that and not our little roguelike, right? Like something like that to see what those like results are of using Next Fest, or should we wait to the next one? Or obviously I don't think you have a whole list of here are competitors, right, of the next one, but it's an interesting thought experiment. I'd love to hear from the devs, but
yeah, I didn't spend too much time on Blue Sky the past couple of days, but I did see a couple of devs mention that their number of wish lists rose a little, but not as much as they would have expected or liked.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, because there's just, I mean, Next Fest is supposed to be like the showcase where smaller games get a spotlight on them. But the spotlight has to be shared around so wildly now.
Yeah.
Because there's over 2,000 different games there.
So nuts, man. It's so, and like, listen, it's a good problem to have too many games. But we also talked, last week. Sorry, we're going to keep referencing last week because 2 weeks was Next Fest. But like, there's so much also kind of fodder. And like I say fodder in the way of like, this is not something I'm going to play. So sorry, everybody. My controller just disconnected. So you heard it clink. I'm just going to boop. You're going to hear it again. But yeah, like there's so much just junk, right? And again, in terms of like, I'm not going to play it, but someone might. But it's so... I don't have the hard drive space for half the shit that I want to even like glance at. I have to be very selective with what I'm going to download. So I don't know. Maybe let's just tidy up a little bit Next Fest. Maybe a little less. I'll take 1,000 demos.
Yeah, I was just wondering if just a little bit more of curation by Steam themselves would have helped. And if Steam is not up for doing that, why not get... I mean, there are curators on Steam.
Yeah, for sure.
There are people who you can follow and who will tell you, like, this is a game to look out for or whatever. Why not use those people and let them make selections, demos that might be interesting, and in a similar way that we do with the podcast, but directly on Steam.
Yeah, I think it'd be helpful for sure to clean everything up. I don't know what... this would be a Steam/curator conversation of like, how do we decide? But like, what if there's that hidden gem that just this selection of curators just, they don't get it. That like, imagine if Balacho was a Next Fest, everyone's like, it's just a poker game. Like if that was the spot, right? So I can't say I have the answers of how to properly curate a Next Fest and say like, this doesn't belong, this does belong. Because 100%, if we do that, we'll be like, oh, these guys didn't know that we were going to have this indie banger. And they just said, sorry, you're not a part of this one. So it's honestly a little scary to think about that, because I don't want like the next Balacho to be like, sorry, we didn't get our Next Fest and then we closed our doors because that, but
I get it. But I can also imagine a game like that getting lost among everything else now as well.
That's true.
I mean, right now you can on Steam there's a page with the most played demos.
Yeah, I did pull it up, but it didn't look too much. Let me pull it back up.
When I look at those games, it's like these are games you would expect people to find.
Among Us 3D, Mecha Break was a big one.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing those games where I'm like, this should have been here.
Haste, deservedly so. We'll talk about that in a minute, team. Haste is fucking sick. Yeah, like as I'm scrolling down, Haste is the only one that I've played. Into the Dead I played at PAX, so I didn't check this one out again, but that's another banger. But Monster Train didn't. Let me just real quick, don't worry about it. And then so as I'm going down, like a lot of the ones I touched aren't even in these like top games. Like we're seeing more as I go down, but yeah, it's showing. And then I can look at like Game of Thrones, King's Row, which actually is kind of dope. But like I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, so I didn't like give that one a time of day. But yeah, interesting seeing like the most successful or most like played ones. Among Us 3D being one that I saw and just like I get Among Us. I don't have to. But
yeah, I just thought it was interesting to like have a conversation about
for sure,
because while I'm grateful that there is a Next Fest and that there will continue to be Next Fests.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that it continues to be what it set out to be.
Yeah. Hopefully. I love to see it go back to that original form where I'm like, I can kind of play a little of everything, but we'll see in the future, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's just put our faith in the people at Valve and hope that they know what they're doing.
I have no faith for Valve, Topher, because I still don't have in the Valley of Gods.
Okay, I get you.
They're like, let's pick up Campo Santo to work on Half-Life Alyx and then just push the game back to 2029 or whatever they said. How about we get back to our basics and make Campo Santo get back on track with this cool looking game, okay? Valve?
Yeah.
Talking to you. Fix it. Anyway. You want to talk about what we've been playing though, dude? You want to talk about what we've been playing?
Why don't you go first?
I will do that.
Your first game is one that I had downloaded.
Okay.
And it didn't work for me, the demo. It just wouldn't start.
Okay, I was going to say it didn't work, like I didn't like it, or oh no.
No, I couldn't play it. And I'm sad about it because it's a game that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. I'm having a great time here. Let me fucking mute this so it's up, and then do this and do this one. Yes, so the first game I played is my like second wave of Next Fest demos is Fretless. I forget the subtitle, but it is a music-based RPG. We're playing as, I think her name is Robert, I forget. But you go to join the Battle of the Bands, you want to become a successful musician, and the entire basis of the combat is you're fighting these random monsters with whatever instruments you have. And then it's weird to say, like, it's not a rhythm game, but there's rhythm to the mini game parts, right? So if you played the Paper Marios or those type of RPGs where like you go for the attack and at that perfect frame, if you hit the button, you do the additional damage. A lot of those are very musical and like there's a beat to them, right? Or like, I'm not a music guy. I don't know measures and whatever. But I look at one, I'm like, okay, that says 4x2, which I think it's going to hit 4 times for 2 damage, I think is what's happening. I don't entirely know, but I get hit by it once. I'm like, okay, the music goes like this. So when I hear ding ding, I know to block or swing or do whatever. But that's the non-music guy in me. But this was a PAX demo that I completely missed. I hadn't seen it. I didn't see their booth. Okay. And on that last day, as we're like, hey, pack it up. So, like everyone's cleaning up their stuff. My buddy Jacob McCourt was talking to the devs. I think they got one of like the Game of Show awards from crossplay conversations, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. I wish I had a chance to play it, before Teardown. So when I saw it was in Next Fest, I'm like, oh, I can't not play this one. I'm trying to pull up some combat here. But yeah, when you start with an acoustic guitar, and each weapon / instrument that you get has a very particular like style to its play, where the acoustic guitar, if I can pull that one because I have the electric guitar here. The acoustic guitar is a lot about putting shield around yourself and then delivering that shield in an attack. Like there's a special card you have where you get 3 attacks per turn. And it's a deck building roguelike. So not a roguelike, but deck building. You put the type of moves you want into your deck. As you draw them, you'll play 3 a turn, you'll activate, and then you get your little mini game. So you do I swing the guitar. When I turn yellow, bam, hit, do extra damage, etc. So like I'll put up shield on myself, and then that 3rd attack is do damage equal to the amount of shield you have. So when I do that and then get the extra boost because I hit the right timing, it does additional damage. I was a huge fan of this one. I really enjoyed it. Okay. I think one of the things with like turn-based turn-based combat period is I'll often get like really bored with how repetitive it gets. Which is just something that I've suffered with for a long time. If it wasn't Persona or Pokemon, it just was never really my cup of tea. But like progressively, I'm like, I don't mind it so much. I can get into it. And this is one I just never felt bored. And it might have been a combination of the music is fire, the visual effects are great. There's awesome animations for like the enemies and yourself for all these cool attacks. And then each time I'd pull up, like I draw my hand to 6. I'm like, okay, what's if I do this and do that? And then I go to place the cards. I'm like, wait, stop, take it back. If I do this first, then I'm going to get this boost. Then I could do this, which would do more damage. And then because I did that damage, I'll get this damage. So I had the fun of constantly just mixing up everything. And do I hit multiple people at once or one person multiple times? Or this will kill this guy so then I can immediately change to this guy. So it was the constant move of, oh, this is really cool. I'm enjoying this a lot. Visuals were dope. There was a secret boss, which, spoiler, here it comes. Well, this is the actual ending boss here. But, like, giant spider dude was fucking rough. He was a big-ass man who has the status effect Echo, which basically is at the end of your turn, you'll take 4 damage. Each character on the screen can hold, like, 3 status effects, and they're on, like, a conveyor belt. So, like, I had, I forget the name of the ability, but once you get the electric guitar, you get a thing called Slap, where again, you have abilities that depending on your slap meter, which right now watching is the top left corner. Once that hit 10, it'll drain. So if you end your turn with that full, you go back to 0. So you need to time that out properly so you're not wasting it.
Okay.
But also I forget the name of the ability, but at the end of my turn, I would get 3 health or 3 shield per boost that I had. So then I would get 9 shield at the end. So when they'd hit me, I'd have that extra little health that wouldn't go through, et cetera, et cetera. But Echo will push all of those things off. So for each Echo, I'm taking 4 damage at the end of the turn. So I'd be, oh, it's only 4. Oh, now it's 8. Now it's 12. Hold on. It's 12 damage. It turns a lot because I think you have like 100 health and you could heal and everything. There's, different medicine and shield is super useful. Filter is the name of the ability I was talking about that was giving me shield. Okay. But yeah, it's a lot of just paying attention to what's on the screen. It's overwhelming at first, I'd say, with like, oh, there's a lot of shit. But I think anyone who's played some RPGs in the past and is like, oh, I know what type of things to expect. It does a lot of the formulaic things in its own style that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I'm gassed for like the full game of Fretless. I had a great time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this a mouse and keyboard game or did you play with
I played with controller. I'm sure you can play mouse and keyboard. It's really just you explore the world. I'd soon be WASD and then probably just mouse on. Well, I don't know how the mouse would work for the inputs. You probably just left click for like the extra damage and whatnot. But yeah, I played controller, but I'm sure you can play mouse and keyboard.
But it did handle playing with controller well.
Felt great on controller. Yep. Just like anyone who's played like any of the Paper Mario games, if you've enjoyed those, playing them on like a Nintendo platform, it's super similar.
Nice. This looks like one I'll probably be playing on my Steam Deck.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's going to be great on deck. It's one I'm interested because I'm often for deck is I don't often have the audio on. I'm playing like in my hand while I have a show or something on. So I'm wondering how rough it'll be to not have the music alongside me, which I don't see a world where I play this without the music. Like this is probably a very like I'm focused on the game type of experience for me. But yeah, as long as it's optimized, I'm sure this will run great on deck.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Yeah, guys, please, wishlist Fret. Hold on, let me get the full name because I know it's Fret something. Sorry, not Fret. Fretless.
It is Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson.
Exactly what Topher said. The Riffson, Wrath of Riffson. I'm never gonna remember that. It's Fretless. Please, wishlist it. Speaking of which, yep, it's already wishlisted. We're good. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, that's Fretless. How about you, friendo?
All right. My first pick is one that I think we mentioned last week.
Okay.
It's called Is This Seat Taken?
Yay.
And I think you played that demo before I did.
Yes, yeah, I think I played the preview one before Next Fest, but yes, same demo, yep.
Oh, okay. The thing is, I'm not gonna go into it too deeply because we already mentioned how good it is, and I can concur that this is a really, really fun game.
Yeah, dude.
Basically, if you don't know what it is, you have to give each character a space, whether it be on like a bus or at tables at an event, and each of these characters have like the something peculiar that they want. They might not want to see next to someone who's a bit smelly, or they would really want to sit next to a window. stuff like that. And you just make sure that everyone gets as good a seat as possible. And this is really fun. I actually didn't play it for that long because I wanted to save most of the puzzles for when I do the full playthrough.
Okay.
Because I don't know if your save gets transferred to the full game. And I wouldn't want to repeat myself too much, but
yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It plays well.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll trans because if I had to guess, I assume those levels are kind of scattered. Like we're just getting 5. Like here's from this chapter, because they all kind of do different. There's the taxi, there's the concert, the everything. So they might be the first 5 levels, which might scare me a little bit because that'd be like I'm afraid getting into this. Like there's 15 levels, everybody. I'm like, no, we need far more than 15 levels. I need more. But yeah, no, I loved Is This He Taken? I'm glad you enjoyed it just as much. Like the game's really cool. It seems super chill, super cozy. I think it'd be a fun one to just like kick back and have fun with.
Oh yeah.
I burped.
Yeah, I like that. Like there's no timers or anything. And even though these characters are just little shapes, they still have like this personality to them.
Yeah,
which I enjoy. Like I want to help them.
The little faces,
get the best seat possible.
Because someone be like, I don't want to sit next to this guy. He's stinky. The other one's like, I said I don't want to sit next to this guy. He stinks. Like there's just different like angry, sad. You'll have like the kid who's like, I have to sit next to my mom, or like I want to sit next to my friends on the bus. Yeah, it's adorable. I can't wait to see the more intricate levels where I'm like, oh, everything. There's a certain way to finish this level, and I got to figure out what that is. And I was sitting there for 20 minutes moving shit. Yeah. Banger.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Then I'll hop into my next one, which is unfortunately one that I wanted to enjoy, and I just don't. The demo didn't seem to be up to snuff. But it is called Scaravan 66, which is this essentially on-rails shooter where you're playing as a bunch of like monsters. There's zombies, skeletons, werewolves, etc. I had some frame issues at first. I want to say primarily that's my computer trying to run the game and OBS to capture footage. I didn't try and run it without OBS open, but you're basically seeing what I saw here in the footage for YouTube watchers. So you start with the tutorial, which was really simple. They're like, hey, here are the controls. You're going to drive. The car is always propelled forward, but you use the thumbstick to go forward, left, right, and back to kind of slow yourself down. You have 3 weapons. So I think it's like a shotgun, a minigun, and like an assault rifle type deal. And the whole thing is as you're driving down the road, you're running into other cars of monsters. You want to shoot them, get them off the road, slam into them, etc. Like it's very simple, but it's just the challenge of like, I have to keep beating things up. And then you have a rear view mirror at the top, which I won't lie, I wish was a little bit bigger. I think it doesn't take up enough real estate so I can really see what's behind me. Hopefully there's an accessibility setting for that, or there's just an option to see how big you want to make it. Because there's not too much going on at the top of the screen where it needs to be that small. But once I finished the tutorial, there was really nothing for me to do. Not to say there wasn't more to the demo, but these werewolves, I think they're called frat wolves or something like that. They're like frat boy werewolves. They show up like, let's get them, yeah, and they chase you down. But they were always so far behind me. Like, I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for them to catch up. And I look in the rearview mirror and there's no cars anywhere near me. So I'm holding down the thumbstick, like the thumbstick to slow myself down so that they'll eventually catch up. And they just never did. They just like, there was at no point did they catch up to me because there was nothing for me to shoot. There was nothing for me to interact with. So I couldn't finish the level. So I was like, let me just restart, end the run, go back in, do it again. But then I spawned into one of the enemies, so there was like damage because we collided at first.
Okay.
And then once we like uncontacted each other and I flew forward, again, they just like disappeared in the distance. So there was just nothing for me to fight. I will say for the tutorial, I had a blast. I thought it was really cool. I think this is going to be a fun, like, on-rail shooter, fight the enemies, see what kind of boss fights we get into, but I can't speak from personal experience because there was just nothing to play. And they had like when you go to close, like, hey, we'd love your feedback on the game. And there was like, how was the pacing? How was the combat? I'm like, I'll be real with you, I don't have an answer because I couldn't play, but I'm excited to play it someday. And I'm interested.
Cool.
I'm interested to see if anyone else has played it and see if they were like, if they had the same issue or if that's just a me problem. Because that's the thing with PCs, like everyone's PC is different, whose PC is going to run good and not, and blah blah blah. But yeah, the game is really cool. I think I won't say anything on that. I don't know how those things work behind the scenes. Don't worry about it, team. But yeah, I hope the game in whatever current state it's at or whenever it comes out performs far better. I think this is one I'd like a console port instead, just seeing how it runs on my PC. But yeah, Scaravan 66. I think it'll be great. Just the demo wasn't.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't like the case for everyone who downloaded that demo.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's one I'd like to see, because sometimes I don't know how the Steam upload system works, right? But sometimes like, oh, I got to leave a review for the demo, so you can actually see people's thoughts, versus most demos don't have that. So you can't. What did other people feel? So I'd have to go out and find other people's Steam Next Fest reviews, and I haven't done that myself, so.
No. Okay.
But I blame Topher anyway.
Wow. Wow.
Listen, you got it.
I have nothing. You can't prove anything.
You're right. I can't. But I'll try. I'm going to find Steam Police or something. I don't fucking know.
Team Police.
No. Anyway, you played other games. Timestamp.
I did. So I have become quite the fan of the developer called Doot. Who previously made Froggy's Battle and Minami Lane.
Froggy Battle.
And I have to say, they are really becoming a master of like these tiny gaming experiences that take like 2 to 3 hours maximum.
Okay.
And with Kabuto Park, they've got another banger.
Hell yeah.
Like the gameplay loop is as simple as it is addictive.
Okay.
You find bugs in different areas. You catch them with a tiny mini game. You train them to become stronger, and then you have them take on other bugs in battles that for some reason take place on a tambourine.
Oh, I just noticed that.
I don't know why. It doesn't get explained why this is the case, but it's cool. Obviously, it helps in my case that the battles are card based, because I love a good card based game. But the thing is, you play these battles in real time, so it's not turn based.
Okay.
You just have to wait until you get the right amount of mana to play your card, and then you can immediately play it. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't have that much more to say about it. It looks adorable. Like I know that this is the first time that Dude has made the visuals themselves.
Okay.
But yeah, gameplay feels good. The music is like the entire vibe of the game is just immaculate. I can't wait to play this one. And even though it's gonna be a shorter experience, I think this is one that I'll just play again and again.
Okay. I'm curious as I like watch the battles, right? And I think like I play Pokemon, I have the battle, and my goal is to beat the Elite Four. Is there like an end goal? Is it more like an Animal Crossing where I want to catch all the bugs, and then when I fight with them, they level up and I can win tournaments and buy? Like, I guess what's my end goal with doing the battles?
In the demo, it's just like doing battles is just one of the options in the menu. It's not like you're traveling around the world finding people to battle.
Yeah.
And every battle just gets a little bit harder.
Yeah, okay.
For example, I didn't finish the entire demo because at one moment you get to play Dude themselves, and I could not beat them.
Of course, you make yourself the strongest dude.
I tried multiple times, but it just wouldn't happen. But I think it's cool because if I remember correctly, the original Pokemon games were based on the developer collecting bugs when they were kids.
Okay.
And it's cool to now like be like, oh, this is kind of Pokemon inspired, but it's back to the actual insects. Yeah, this is just a fun little time, and I will like support Dude and whatever they do. They're just such fun games.
Yeah, this is what I'm excited for. I played Froggy's Battle. I hadn't played Minami Lane. But yeah, and this is a demo I still have sitting there that I haven't gotten to, because I know you covered it, so I'm like, let me try and do other ones that Topher hasn't played. That we that's why I didn't play Wheel World yet. Topher, I was like, I should play something different, but it's still sitting there. It's still sitting there. I did. I'm going to, but After Monster Hunter. But nah, this looks so cute. I love it. And oh, it's May. I didn't realize it was May. Fuck. That's exciting.
Yep.
It looks adorable. I'm so excited. Bop boom.
Tell me about your next game because you were quite excited about this one.
I am. So I'm gonna take us back. Back in high school, we'd have our bro nights, right? We'd finish class, we'd go back to our buddy Ben's house. I'd bring the PlayStation. One night we had an all-nighter, and my buddy Jacob just fell into Cluster Truck. Just nonstop. Jacob, if you're listening, there was this night where he just came up with these sayings for how to remember some of the harder levels, where he's like, oh, gotta jump here. Not gonna hit me, big guy. And just had these weird cadence of things to say as he was like playing through the level. Because he would just use that to remember, I know when I beat this, I have to jump to the right because a truck's gonna come this way and just knock me out, so I can't die that way. And the fireball's gonna blah, 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 blah. But anyone not familiar with Cluster Truck, it's just a first person runner where you're jumping from truck to truck trying to get to the end of the level. So the team over at Landfall is working on their next game called Haste Broken Worlds, and I love it. It is precious visually. It's adorable. The whole thing is you're playing as Zoe, who I think you're like a deliverer or something to the effect. But I think fans of Sonic games are gonna love this. It's the thing of like, you get on the level, you need to run and propel yourself forward and get to the end, complete the objective. As you beat the run, and we're going to take steps here because there's a lot here that is very simple, but also like, I feel like if it's not explained right, it won't make sense. But really the only controls are you hold the button to sprint. Once you're sprinting, you're just going. And then your whole thing is to jump and try and land perfectly going downhill. Because if you land like flat up against the wall, it's going to be okay. You're going to do whatever. Good will get you a little boost, but like if you land perfectly, your speed, you're maxing yourself out. You're just nailing it. So your whole thing is launch up, and then when you hold A, you'll dive down. So you kind of want to envision your angle as you land. And then as you move on to the next level, you do the same thing. And then once you unlock like the hub world, you get a very roguelike track. I don't hesitate to say roguelike. I'm pretty sure this is a roguelike. I didn't die, so I don't know if it was like start over or do the run again. But yes, you get the very roguelike here, the map of you want to go here, you want to get health, you want to go to the shop, you want to do whatever. You'll get certain power-ups that'll be like, I increase my energy when I do certain things, et cetera, et cetera. There's these characters you stop and talk to. There's the captain who's like, hello, friend, it's good to see you again. But yeah, for people who like to play Sonic for the goal of like, I start the level, I run, I jump, I avoid the obstacles, I know exactly when to dodge this and that. Like, this has that same vibe both visually and gameplay wise. I'm like, damn, I'm about to go play some Sonic tonight. I'm not, but like, I had such a good time with this game. It was so much fun. And then at the end of the run, there's like a boss encounter, which I should have right here. Yeah. So there's the jumper, and the whole thing is you have to run through. This one's more of an enclosed area. So rather than being like, here's the road, you want to get to the end, it is like this small sandbox area where this guy is launching giant things of lava through the air. And if you run through it, you take damage. But if you land those perfect like landings, you will get that boost that gives you invincibility frames. So you get that free time to run through the lava. So you kind of have like, okay, if I do this right, but you see, I whiffed it. I'm taking damage and I died. But you have 3 lives. I didn't waste any of my lives till I got to the boss encounter. Okay. So it was rough, but I beat it. I did the damn thing. But the whole goal is just to run into the monster. Once you hit him, that's 1 health. Do it 4 times, you beat him. It's the first thing I thought when I went to finish this game, I was like, man, I can't wait for the TikToks to be filled with gameplay of this while something else is playing on the top half of the screen. This will be the next Subway Surfers, the next Minecraft parkour for TikToks. Like, it's that game. And like, I've been following them on TikTok for a while. I always thought the game looked cool, but now I got my hands on it. I'm obsessed. It's so dope.
Damn.
I love it.
It's high praise.
Yeah, please. Wishlist Haste. It's really cool.
I actually have right now because I didn't have it on my wish list yet. It looks really cool. Team Sonic, take notes.
Honestly, facts though, facts. I mean, after fucking Balin Wonderworld or whoever fuck made that shit was fucking ass, bro. But I think as someone who's really excited for Balan Wonderland, whichever the fuck it was, and like, oh yikes, this was really bad. I'm not picking this up now. Like, this has the visual style that I loved from that game, but also in like, look at all the greenery and the different environment. Like, it's really dope. I love everything. Nothing frustrated me. There was a little bit of challenge, but again, I didn't die till I got to the boss, and I'm sure it'll get more challenging. But like, it's one of those unique roguelikes where I'm like, cool. This is like not another game like this, and I can't wait to see who else is like, oh, we got to make our runner roguelike. I'm like, nah, dude, Haste is the one. Let him be the one.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, please play Haste. It's cool. But the demo's still up, and I gotta remember like how many of these demos are still up. But
yeah, let me check. The demo is still up for this one.
Bet, guys, go play Haste right now. But let's see. I closed my notes. They're right here. Anyone else you playing?
Let's take down the pace a little. Let's go a bit slower.
What else have you been playing?
That's too slow. Now listen. I like trains. For some reason, I don't know why, but I find traveling by train to be incredibly soothing. So I was excited when I saw the trailer for Locomoto. This is a life sim that sees you run your own train across beautiful countrysides. You start the game by designing, well, first your own character, and then your own train carts. And then you set off into this world, picking up people. You pick up parcels along the way. You travel by train to different places, and you actually explore these places that you travel to. You're not confined to just your train, because you have to like invite passengers onto your train. Usually they'll have like a reason to get on the train, or they have like a condition. For example, when you start out, your train doesn't have any seats. So your first passenger is like, oh, I need a seat when I get on this train, which makes sense.
I need somewhere to stay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you at this first location, you pick up different materials and you craft your very first seat.
Aww.
And then you invite the passenger by carrying her luggage to the seat, and then you can take off to the next location. There's a lot of freedom to the game.
Okay.
Because you can make your character look any way you want them to. You can make your train look any way you want them to. The story is quite linear, I think. Well, in the demo at least it is, but maybe in the full game you have more freedom to choose where you want to go to first. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's so much fun. It reminded me of Fruit Bus, which is
okay.
That for me that's a big compliment, because I loved Fruit Bus.
Fruit Bus is cool.
It has that same kind of tactile gameplay where you have to pick up, for example, for people who are watching the video version, you have to pick up the paint that you want to use when you're choosing a color for your train carriage. You have to pick up materials that you'll need to build, for example, the seats within the train. It's really cool. I don't have that much else to say about it except that it's really cool. If you're looking for like a cozy time and a game that takes its time, like to slow everything down a little, this is one to pick up for sure.
Hell yeah. I love the way this one looks. I know we talked about it at one point. I have to imagine it was the episode we talked about the most recent wholesome snack. I think that's where we would have seen this. But after watching the Spiritfarer documentary, where they explain like the first idea for the game was a train instead of a boat, like this is if they were like, we watched the documentary, said, bet we can do that. Like this looks like that original idea for Spiritfarer, and I'm all about it. It looks so adorable. I kind of skipped through it. Could you pick an animal? Are you a bear? Did you, I didn't know if you look like a raccoon now, I think, but I didn't know if it was selecting animals or...
It's different kinds of bear-like creatures.
Okay.
So you choose a different head.
Got
the
it.
body
Okay.
stays the same.
Yeah, that's so cool. It looks so adorable. I'm all about it.
That's
Another one I have downloaded but didn't play because I saw you like, okay, Topher's got Locomoto. I could check out something else, but yeah, another one that I think is on the list of, as long as the demo's still up, I want to try this one. Yeah, it looks precious. So freaking cute.
This is one of those cozy games that'll stay with you, I think.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. It looks fun. It looks fun. Okay, hold on. I could sit here all day and watch the rest of it. But I fucking gotta do something else. Oh man.
You've got another big one.
I think I gotta give the warning, guys. If you don't like to hear me excited, you might need to skip this section. But I'm about to pop off. I just have to mute Twitch because I didn't. Everything's on the stream. Hold on, let me put this one. Okay.
It's the favorite monster game you've played all week.
It is. You know, shit. I meant to make that joke. I fucked it up. Damn. I was gonna be like the really good monster game this week. Monster Con. So we just did our Monster Prom book club the other week. We talked about how the game works, etc. If you haven't seen that episode, would recommend. But now the demo is out for Monster Prom 4 Monster Con. Fuck Topher. I love it. It's so much fun. It's so cool. So, for anyone who's played all the Monster Proms, you're like, okay, how does this one work compared to the rest? This one is a lot closer to Monster Prom than it is like Monster Road Trip. So a lot more like 1 and 2 than it is to 3. You're going back to like the dating sim part where you're going to the event, you take the whole day to increase your stats. At the end of the whole event, you have the con party you're trying to bring a date to, and you're trying to impress one of these people to go with you as your date. What makes this one different, again, we're bringing back Zoe and Liam, who we haven't really had as a main character since Prom. So it's been a hot minute. And then Zoe, I mean, she's been in every damn game because she's the kawaii, weird character everybody loves. But then we have technically 4 new characters with Doug, Omen, Nico, and April. I love every single one of them. They're, I don't love Liam, but I love Liam, of course. Just he's not my favorite baby. But like the entire dateable cast is so great in this game. And that's constantly a thing for these games. But like the fact that most of them are so new, like I haven't had this refreshing vibe since Monster Prom original of like, here's 6 new characters I don't know. This is 2 characters I'm familiar with, 1 I haven't seen in a long time, and then 4 who are basically like, 1 was playable, so we never had like an energy for him, and then all these new guys. I'm like, holy fuck, they're all so great. Anyone who watched the stream, fuck me, I'm down bad for Omen. The fucking purple warrior bitch, Jesus Christ. They're so damn fine, bro. Holy shit. I just fucking beat the shit out of me. God damn. Anyway. So what are the big differences between like Prom and Con? Topher, we recently played Prom. In Prom, when you do a task, like you go to do an event, you pick a outcome and it will let me try that sentence again because I fucked that up. You pick an outcome and your result is based on how high your stats are. So it's like, it's going to either be so good or so bad in one stat or so good and so bad in another stat. And basically you either win and gain stuff or you lose and lose points. Like that's just how it is in Prom. Con is different because you don't lose, like you don't lose an outcome. It's not like, oh shucks, I don't gain anything. Everything you choose, you will gain 2 in something and lose 2 in something.
Ooh.
So when you like go to an encounter, right? Like this example here, anyone watching the video version, these 2 suits show up. They're like, hey, you are a bunch of girls, right? We need to know what you want in your gamer seats. What do girls like in their gamer chairs? And all 3 of the girls, Zoe and April, and then I think Omen is I'm female presenting. So I'm assuming they, them, but I don't think it's specified. But I think safe assumption. But they all give like, I like my chairs to be like this, or like, I like this, blah, 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 blah. And when you get the choices, I forget what the one option is, but the one is just like, we need to watch out for chairs because the worst thing is wizards turn into chairs, so they have the freedom to touch your butt. So you're like, okay, interesting. But you have to figure out, is this one smart? Is it bold? Is it funny? Whatever. So once you kind of decide what the 2 options are, you'll figure out, I'm going to gain 2 in this, I'm going to lose 2 in this. So there's still the there's still the task of figuring out what stat is this, like what is it going to be, But once you pick, you're like, cool, I gained 2 fun, but I lost 2 charm. So if you know who you're going after, and like, I think Omen's going to be like all about boldness. So I'm like, I got to be bold as shit. So if I see a bold option, I got to take that one because I'm trying to take Omen to the con party. I need Omen to go with me, right? So you can focus on like, oh, it's going to delete my smarts. I don't need that for Omen. It's fine. So you really don't get to choose which stats they are, but you get to see like, here are the 2 things I'm going to gain or lose. Which one do I not need? Or if they're both like, yikes, which one do I need more? So like, it was a lot of me reading these, like, I think that one's smart, but that one might be creativity. And then click on it, I'm like, oh no, it was charm. Interesting. I don't really know why. So there's going to be that growing pain of figuring out which ones mean which. So that'll be fun all over again. But also, god damn, let me tell you, April's finest shit, dog. Let me fucking fast for a little bit. I love Doug and Nico. They're just 2 bros that I absolutely adore. Doug's whole bit is that they don't swear. So there's like one moment where like he goes to say something. He's like, holy freaking gosh darn. Oh my gosh, freaking damn it. But like, or like, gosh freaking darn it. And they're just like, hey, I appreciate the family friendly thing, but like, what the fuck are you talking about? There is this insane aggression to the vulgarity in this one that is not new to Monster Prom. But when I tell you, everyone listen, I'm sorry, you might have to cover your ears for this one. They say cock so much in this game, which I don't think is new. I can't imagine they've never said cock in Monster Prom, but it is so prevalent in this one. Like Liam opens a booth to sell yaoi art. If you don't know what that is, incognito mode, Google it. But Liam does a brand new piece of art to sell, and when you walk up to him, he's like, I can't believe it. I don't think I could ever make something as beautiful again. And everyone looks at it, and it's just like, Liam drew the nicest cock you're ever gonna see, ever. And we're like, okay. So your options are like, someone wants to buy it, like, I don't think I could sell this, but like, I don't think the world can handle this much cock right now. So you can either draw a pair of underwear over it where only you and the 3 people around you ever know what's under that pair of underwear. Or again, I forget the other option. I can only think of the one that I pick, but I'm like, okay, so that's the thing. And they're just like, oh man, see you later, cock. You were incredible. I'm like, why are we saying cock so much? It's so much cock. But like, and sorry, I know that one stings the ear. I'll stop saying it now. But like, it's the fucking toilet humor that I love every time they announce a new one of these. I'm like, I can't wait to hear the dumb shit we get into again. There's a whole like event where you go to like one of the conferences, like, hey, here's how you come up with your own story. And they're like, step by step. First, be inspired by something. You're like, I'm inspired by Spider-Man. They're like, be sure to steal from that. I can steal from Spider-Man. And the whole thing is like, you're writing your own comic, but you're just stealing Spider-Man the entire time, which is super cute. And then just like prom, in like the middle of the day, you get the option like visit the table and hang out with your person. But this time there's so many more events that can happen. The demo doesn't have it. They're like, hey, we didn't put this in yet, but here's how it's going to work. You'll pick a table and they're just like, hey, there could be little events. There'll be dates you can go on. There'll be little chibi dates. There'll be conversations that'll get deep. You can go to the Friend-O-Matic, which will like let you dispense a new friend for the con. I don't know what exactly that'll mean yet for the gameplay, but I was like, oh, cool, Gerard. We never could see Gerard. Kale from Camp's in here. Sawyer was a playable character in 2, but like we've never seen Sawyer as like a character. We don't know what Sawyer's about. So I'm like, that'll be fun to see. Miranda's back, Vera's back, Scott's back. There's more to unlock. So like, there's all these different things, and like get rejected, not get rejected, and sexy Zoe in the Garfield underwear, which we'll just scroll from that. But yeah, they explain like, hey, here's not in the game yet, but this is what's going to be in it. And just seeing all the potential of how much fun this game's going to be, just, I'm going to lose so many hours when this game drops in a couple months. I'm fucking floored. I had so much fucking fun. It's great. It's great. And yeah, for anyone who like, I'm messing with my buddy LB a little bit because she's played the Monster Prom game. She wasn't a huge fan of Road Trip with the way they changed the formula. She was like, I was hoping this goes back to like the original games, and it very much is. There's some tweaks to make it just not Monster Prom again, but it is very unique in a lot of the things that you do. They took out the money stat, so it's just the 5 stats this time. So it's just smart, bold, creativity, charm, and fun. But another thing that's not in the demo, you're going to be able to build your own comic as you go based on different events, and you'll tell a story, which will then create the ending of your run, which I can't wait to get my hands on that mechanic because that's going to be super unique. But they show like some of the characters we're going to get to meet. Like, fuck, I want more of the game now. I need more of the game now. And right now I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I rambled about the events that took place, less the game. But yeah, that's what I'm always into Monster Prom for, is what random shit are they going to hit me with? What new things are going to pop up and be like, oh, this character said this thing, or what running gag's going to come back, or when am I going to be talking to one character, then fucking Polly shows up. I'm like, you weren't on the poster. When did you get here? Oh my God. Like, I'm going to love it so freaking much. And, right now it's listed for Q2 2025. So we're talking April to July-ish frame. And I'm like, how about you just give it to me now? Because I kind of want to play it now. I kind of want more MonsterCon.
How about they save it for Cocktober?
No, I don't want to go to Cocktober. It's so far away. The idea that it's also just a new month that goes right before April is also great to me. But also, now I have the fear that October will just be a bunch of naked dudes that I'm personally not ready for. But they also have this tease, right? I'm gonna just fucking April, right? There's like you have an event like, oh, we need to have our obligatory beach episode. Very anime thing to do. We're at a con, we do anime stuff. So you go to the beach, you have everyone in their swimsuit, you have the swim trunks, Zoe's got like a one piece, and off screen, April's like, hey, it's the beach episode. And Zoe's like, holy shit, April's in the hottest bikini I've ever seen. She's not on screen though. You're like, put her on the screen. Put her on the goddamn screen. And they're like, as April comes over, oh no, we can't show that much footage because the episode only runs so long. But please do some fan art for things that we can't put in the game. Please do fan art. And they're just like, draw it. What do you think April's bikini looks like? And I think Zoe says something to the effect of like, the ocean's not the only thing gonna make people wet today. I'm like, hey, whoa! Please show me. So guys, I need someone out there to make the April bikini picture and send it to me wherever. Send it on Blue Sky. I'm not going to pay attention to Twitter. I don't pay attention there enough, so do it on Blue Sky. But yeah, fuck, this game's so much fun. It's weird because I want to say there's always the fear it's not going to be as fun as the last, but like after 3 new games, like that's never been a problem. Never once I've been like, man, I really enjoyed the last game more, enough to make it like a point, right? Like I've never been like, this game sucks. Like these games are always so much fucking fun. Every single time I play a new one, I want to just stick with it all day and play it all over and over again and forget everything else exists. And I'm gonna lose hours to this game. Love it. MonsterCon. And I think a demo still up, so play it.
It's such a joy to just see you being so enthusiastic.
Yeah, dude. It's wild, right? And like a little off base, but like I'll think about like my favorite indies, right? Of like which ones are on my favorite indie games list. And there's always Shovel Knight, there's always Cuphead, there's always Moonlighter. And like I won't say I'm like hesitant to put Monster Prom on there. I guess I just like don't think of it in like it should be in my top 10 of all time, but it totally is. And I think it's like as a franchise it is. And I think I always say like it's Cuphead, Shovel Knight, Moonlighter / Owlboy, and progressively it's Moonlighter then Owlboy, but like Monster Prom totally takes that 4th spot. It's these games are incredible. I love them. I've played through so many of them so many times with the boys on my own, etc. And I beg for an animated series so I could just have more Monster Prom content to just ingest.
Who knows? Who knows?
Fingers crossed, please. I want more. But yeah, I could ramble all day about the different events. But yeah, if you like Monster Prom and camp a little more than Road Trip, you like the classic formula. Con is very much that with a few new twists to make it fresh. Also, hold on, I'll pull this up because it's adorable. Not really a spoiler, but it's cool. So one of the locations is the lobby, which is like the con floor, which everybody's walking around doing their thing. Whatever character you have, when you take them there's always the splash art of like, you start this event by doing blah, 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 blah. Each of the characters has their own cosplay, and Oz, this is Oz's cosplay, and it's so cute. It is the Cult of the Lamb, and it's awesome. It's so great.
That is amazing.
Everyone else has one. I can't pinpoint who exactly they are. Like, I got Vicky, who I play Vicky. This is hers, which I'm like, Magical Girl, but I was like, is it Starlight Revolver? I don't know if it's from a game particularly, or it's just Oz's is obviously Cult of the Lamb. But
yeah,
I think Brian, the zombie dude, I think it looks like it's Katana Zero, but it's got a different mask, so it could not be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But and then I think Ravi, no, Ravi is the character. Ravi is the fire girl. She looks like she might be from River City Girls. But it looks a little more Streets of Rage. So I'm not sure if they're just like, let's be visually distinct enough. But they look like they reference other indies. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. But I'm gonna do timestamp so I can stop talking about Monster Prom because I need to talk about something else.
My next one, I won't spend too much time on it either because you mentioned it last week.
Mm-hmm.
You played Reignbreaker, and now
Yes.
I finally got around to playing it as well.
Hell yeah!
I didn't play it for very long because it reminded me of how bad I am at games like Hades and stuff. But just like with Hades, this is a game that I'll try to put my struggles aside for.
Okay.
Like, gameplay feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
I adore the visual style, and I'm mostly just curious to find out more about this world. Like, this queen character seems intriguing.
Yep.
You have an old friend who is still working for the queen, so there's a kind of relationship going on there. It just it's one that I'm hoping that there's gonna be accessibility features that make it easier, so I can actually finish it. But I'm definitely gonna be playing it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the game's dope. I had a good time playing it. I think last week I mentioned, like, it's tough to be like, oh, it's Hades, but not Hades. Yeah. And that, like, how to justify, like, why would I not just play Hades when I could, you know, instead of playing something that's not Hades or whatever. But yeah, the visual style for me is, like, the big selling point. I think it's really cool, and I want to see what other, like, weapons and gear will be able to have in it. But yeah, Reignbreaker is a cool substitute for sure.
Yeah.
Plus the characters look cool as shit.
I know, right? They all do.
They really do. Listen. The fucking badass art that pops up every time. You're like, ooh, check this out. Let's see. I did Monster Con. I should do timestamp. Oh, here we could talk this. We both played this one.
Yes, we did.
We played Tempopo. Let me find. That was also on stream, so I got to find it. I really liked Tempopo. So it's from the team that made Unpacking. This is their first game since then. And the whole thing, I didn't realize what the game really was till I played it. I had a different idea of it. I was thinking it was more like sorry, you're watching me eat a panini while I play. But
damn.
I was thinking it was more like My Singing Monster, the mobile game, where it's just like level up your island, get new monsters, and they all sing different notes. When you slap them together, you make a song. But it's more of like a rhythm-based Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which I'm like, hold on, I love Captain Toad. So that was a big selling point for me. But the whole thing is you have this main character. She shows up. She's like, I want to conduct things. And then somehow just fucks the entire world up. Breaks everything. Yeah. You're like, okay, don't know how you did that. But now you go through each level. You have, are they called Tempopos? Is that what the little guys are called? I didn't see
the
that.
Little
anymore.
guys are called Tempopos.
Okay, yeah. Cool. I thought so. I just didn't want to just call them the title of the name. Be like, oops, that's not what they're called. But these little onion radish something little plant guys, they start in the map and you have different tools, right? There's like turn left, turn right, go forward, go back. But then there's like actions. There's like turn to a propeller so you can launch a friend up. There's turn to a box so like someone can cross a path. So there's all these different like routes you can take. Well, not even routes you could take. It's figuring out what items you have to place where to then complete the level with all of the roses. And then when you have the roses, you can take them to your garden, which is the My Singing Monster part where you put the plants down. There's like a clockwise radio thing that'll go around the island and will play the notes of the flowers as it hits. So you do have like your own personal island track that you can build. I didn't spend a lot of time doing that. I was more on the puzzles.
Yeah, same.
But that's the idea of Tempopo. How did you like Tempopo?
I really enjoyed it. It plays really well. It's clear that it's nearly finished. It's releasing in April, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and this is one of those classic puzzle games. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the art.
Yeah.
Once again, I stopped myself from playing for too long, just because I don't want to repeat myself too much when the full game comes out. But Yeah, it's delightful.
Yeah, it's relaxing too. Like I started, I'm like, ooh, there's gonna be a point where I'm really gonna struggle to figure out these puzzles. And I think there's one later on where there was like 15 like items to place. I'm like, oh shit, I'm nervous. I'm not gonna figure this one out. Literally, I was like, all right, no, that won't work. Let me just slap everything down and see what happens. And then it just worked. I would say I was super lucky. Well, I'm like, oh, cool. Everything went exactly how it was supposed to. But yeah, I think I was just super lucky on that one. I probably could have just whiffed it and be like, oops, that wasn't supposed to go there. I messed it up. But it's super chill. It's not super challenging. Again, there's no timers. It is really simple of like you put everything down, you hit play and let everything kind of march. And then once it's either it passes, you're like, I beat the level, or you're like, okay, that's not going to work because this guy will end up going there. So you just hit pause, move the things around that you need, go again. Okay, well now this won't work because the box isn't there. So I got to put this here instead. And so it is just the methodical, like, where do I have to put here and there to make sure the level's completed and then go again. Yeah.
I was a big fan of the little girl conducting the Tempopo all the time on the right side of the screen. It's adorable.
Sitting down there doing a little bop, just dancing. Yeah. She's cute. I don't know how much more story there'll be because you get like that intro cutscene, but like I could see this just being like, here's the puzzles, enjoy. With maybe like a final end cutscene. It didn't seem like there was like narrative chapters to be like, oh no, you've completed this, time to move on. Like, I'm not sure, but if it is just the puzzles, again, the Captain Toadness of it is like very, very cool to me. I like Captain Toad, so this will be something I can see myself sinking my teeth into.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there might not seem that much of a story going on, but these are the unpacking people we're talking
It's true.
about. So
It's
you
true.
never know. You never know.
I swear to God, if I move in with some ungrateful boyfriend again, Topher, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
Why does he have square plates?
What a fucking square? Why? Get some normal plates. Why are there no room for my underwear in the drawers? Why do all you wear is black and gray? Pick something else. Fucking nerd. Loser. Although, I am expecting, as we go through levels, we'll see some of the plushies show up. I'm like, it's a little pig. He's right there. I didn't see any of that in the demo unless I missed it. But I'm those Easter eggs have to be there. So, I need it.
Let's hope so, yeah.
But yeah, Tempopo. That was a really fun one. I'm excited to check out. I don't know. I haven't been checking dates on these. We said April, right?
Yeah, I think it's 17th or something. Let me check.
What is Tempopo? No, I want Tempopo.
April 17th, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right around the corner, people. And yeah, like you said, like this feels like feature complete. We just got a sample of it, but like, I feel like this one. Speaking out of turn, right? Where I haven't seen the full game. I don't know what they're still working on, but like, this seems like, oh, cool. This is out. Bet. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I have to see if I have any PR friends on this one. I'm gonna need a review code. Yeah, this feels like one. I'm like, hey Jenny, you got keys? Can I get like? I don't know if Jenny has her hands on this one at all, but it feels like she should. Alrighty, Tempopo up. Timestamp that bad boy. Gotta pull up the list again. Where are we at? Let's
my next game is something very different.
Yeah, run yours.
Called The Horror at Highrook.
Yes, I have not played this one yet.
It is one that I think I had the demo before Next Fest, but didn't play it yet.
Same.
And it's an occult card crafting narrative RPG.
Right.
Where you play as a set of supernatural investigators while they investigate the disappearance of a formerly wealthy family. So you go to the mansion that they live in, to like walk around and find like gain access to the rooms first, because at the beginning most of the rooms are just closed. But yeah, there are Lovecraftian horrors at play, so it gets quite scary. There's a good build up to it. Like the start of the demo, there's like this atmosphere where you're like, I don't like this.
I don't want to be here.
I don't want to face the horrors. I just want to find these people and leave. But that's not what happens. As you might expect from a game with Lovecraftian horrors, it plays like a mixture of the Arkham Horror board game and something like Cultist Simulator.
Okay.
where you have to combine cards to then and then you have a timer running down to finish an action, and then you get new cards that you can use to like do other actions with other characters and stuff like that. The big star of the show so far here is the atmosphere.
Okay.
It really sells you on this vibe of you are here to investigate and things are gonna go wrong. The game doesn't hold your hand too much either. Like, I struggled a little bit with finding what I had to do at the start of the game. But once you figure it out, like, the logic comes to you. But yeah, the atmosphere, the absolute vibes here are really good.
It looks dope. It's one of those interesting things. The first thing I see, I'm like, Clue? Is that what I'm looking at here? Like, it's very visually similar to Clue. And as I would have to, like, another one, when I get my hands on it, I'm like, okay, I could see how this functions. Because I'm like, okay, you move the card here and things will happen and do whatever. I do like the visual style. I'm going to blame Dredge for that, where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get the Lovecraftian thing. I kind of like it a lot. It looks cool. I won't talk about it too much because I did an ad for it, so I just, authentic and whatnot, but I played the Deadly Path during Next Fest, which similar vibe of like, here are the card tiles everywhere. It has a different thing of like, there's time that loops through and you do everything, but I can see the enjoyment I got out of that from just kind of the looking at the cards and letting things play out, being reflected in this as well. So yeah, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it is. And I'm very curious to find out what like the big finale will be.
Okay.
And if I can make everyone survive or not.
Doubt it.
I doubt it too.
But I'm gonna need you to save Mechanist Astra over here because she kind of got me acted up. Here we go. She got bad. You see that? She was. Look at that. Them goggles. I'm kind of vibing with it. She single?
I get it.
Let's go. Let's run it. Oh yeah, this looks cool. Let me minimize this. And what else did we? The last one that I streamed. Okay. So I played a game called Corebreaker. Okay. I downloaded it because the thumbnail reminded me a lot of Dead Cells. It's like a little guy with a flaming head. I'm like, interesting. It's a roguelike. It's not exactly Dead Cells. It is this very fast-paced action roguelike where you have basically a gun, you have a punch, and you have a dash. And your goal is to run through the room, kill everything, get the currency, find the different rooms to upgrade or buy new guns, etc., and then move to the next one. It's weird because there's nothing like unremarkable about it, but there's also nothing like super remarkable about it. It's hard to be like, man, this was so cool in this aspect and that aspect. It was very fun. It was fluid. The visuals are great. I had a fun time playing it. But like, as I sit here and think like, oh, I could tell everyone about the Dead Cells this and the da-da-da-da-da, like, I just don't have anything outstanding to like scream the praises of it. I just think if it looks cool to you, I'd say play it. I think it was fun. Just hard to find like, the big revolutionary, oh, you got to put this in the trailer to really sell your game. It was fairly simple on the surface, and maybe it gets more in depth. I know there's a mini boss that kicked my ass basically every single run I went in here. I'm like, motherfucker, stop, just die already. But yeah, no, I had a really good time. It's another spot of like, I don't know how much more to say outside of like, if you like roguelikes. I think if you're someone who likes Neon Abyss, I think it's very similar to that. So I think my buddy Chris, who's a huge fan of Neon Abyss, he's really excited for the second one. I think he could enjoy this one. Yeah, and it's weird, right? Because I didn't really think about what I was going to say about this game until this very moment. I'm like, I don't really know what to say.
It doesn't really bring that much like anything new to the table.
Yeah, it is like, this is a genre. We made our own genre. If someone was like, this is our first game and it was inspired by this game, and this game, I'm like, yeah, totally see it. Totally understand. Again, it's fun. I could see people getting lost in just the gameplay loop and trying to beat the run, etc. I don't know that it'll be one that, again, depending what else is out, like that I'll sink a lot of time into. I enjoyed the demo. I could see myself trying to beat the demo, but again, we've talked about all the shit that there is to play right now. Where I'm like, maybe we'll see when the game comes out if it's one that like I swing back to or not. But hey, if it looks cool to you, or if you're audio listener, if it sounds cool to you, go look at it on Steam and see if it's your cup of tea.
Yeah, the demo is still up, so you can give it a shot for yourself.
There you go. There you go. Wrong scene. I sent to YouTube. Now you're just watching the stream. Here we go. That's what we needed. Close this. I can close this Twitch one now because that's all the ones that I streamed, which means Tofu, you're talking about the next one that I don't know. It's that one. Okay, cool.
Oh, it's called Riff.
There we go. Sorry,
it's a game like this wasn't on my radar until I saw a post on Blue Sky by the developer.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know how to make my game stand out during Next Fest.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, we love that.
Yeah. Now, I was a big fan of the game Thronefall, which is like this more minimalist approach to typical tower defense games. And Riff reminds me of that game a lot. It is developed by Adriaan de Jong, who is the developer behind Hidden Folks.
Okay.
And he seems to have taken valuable lessons from Thronefall, but made it a bit more intricate, but just as addictive. So basically, you play as a kind of interdimensional traveler, and you arrive in a world through a portal. In that new world, you build a tower, and then you set out building like all of these kinds of smaller towers to defend your big tower. When you're successful, or even when you fail, you get transported into another portal where you get to this kind of different dimension where you can upgrade stuff, and then you dive back into a portal, find a new world, build a new tower, rinse and repeat. Now, the thing is, this might sound like it could get boring.
Okay.
But it's actually a lot of fun to play.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it.
Maybe, I don't think the way I'm describing it is selling it all that much. But it's one of those games that you have to play to really find out how good it is.
I was gonna say it's selling me. I like the visual style a lot. It's reminded me that I haven't played Cataclysmo yet, and that's on me. But no, I recall. I think I saw this one on TikTok, or maybe it was Blue Sky as well, a few months back. Where I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. I like the style of it. And after hearing you play and talk about it, I'm like, yeah, this looks like one I could just get lost in.
I think this is one of those games that you can set out to play for like an hour, and then you look up from your screen and it'll be like 6 hours later.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those like easy to learn but hard to master.
Yeah.
Because the game keeps on leveling up both your character but also the enemies.
Okay.
It plays really well. It makes me wonder if it has a release date yet.
Yes, I didn't see this one yet.
April, apparently.
Damn, April gonna be just as packed. God damn it.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh man, it looks cute. I wanna check out the demo. I'm looking at it right,
Still available.
And I recall, and maybe I'm mixing it with another game. I thought it was like a 3D voxel game, but as I'm watching, I'm like, no, it's just pixel art. And it looks gorgeous.
I know, right?
I like minimalist.
These worlds seem a bit barren. There's not a lot of life to them, but still they feel like how should I put this? The worlds feel alive, even though there aren't that many living beings in them.
Okay, except for all the
There's
little
like a history
monsters.
to them.
I dig it.
Riff.
Hell yeah, Riff.
The demo is still up, so if you want to give it a chance, do
it. Cowards, go play it. Go play it right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice, team. I'm just so enthusiastic.
I'm really curious about your next one because I haven't heard of this one.
Okay. So listen, Facebook, I'm busy. Sorry, Facebook does the thing where I get a message on Instagram and it's like, you didn't answer in 5 minutes. It's time to screen. And then I have to disconnect my phone from my computer. And I'm like, okay, sorry, team. You're getting a lot of Windows noises today. Just know those are on my end. Unless your computer's blowing up, then that's on your end. But anyways, so I played Once Upon a Puppet, which is this 3D platformer. The demo drops you kind of just into the middle of the story. You're not really starting the game. You're like partway through. I didn't realize how many, again, unremarkable demos that I played. Hold on, this was the game crashing on me the moment I loaded it up.
Oh no.
Another one that it is fine. It's cute. I really, really like the art style. I think I downloaded this one in the search for that same love that I had for Puppeteer back on like the PS3. I loved Puppeteer. The whole thing was this 2D platformer that was on like a theatrical stage with the red curtain and everything. I'm like, oh, I love that. Aesthetically, this fits that vibe. The marionette, you have the cool like wooden and artsy craftsy art style to everything. It's a 3D platformer for sure. I'm wondering if I kind of got to experience like what's going on, or it's like I'm the puppet being controlled by the hand and the hand has this over me. Like, as it loaded up, I was just kind of thrown into the game, which was fine, but I felt less invested in it. I didn't feel like I played this with a intent of, I got to see this little puppet get to the end of his story. I got to see where he reaches or what he accomplishes and all his goals. And it was there. Sometimes I could pull something as the puppet. Sometimes I needed to use the hand. It seemed like sometimes it was a weight thing. Sometimes it was a strength thing. I was like, I don't know that I necessarily have a defining like, oh, of course, why would I ever just use the puppet when I could just use the marionette all the time? But dang, I wanted to be more excited about it. Right now the visuals are the biggest thing for me. I think they sell a lot. There's a few issues I had with like the readability of the level. Like here, for video watchers, there's like platforms that go into the background, which I'm like, oh, I have to jump back. And I was going to use this wind to propel myself forward so I could reach them because they're a little far back. But there's an invisible wall. I'm like, okay, that's not that. So I'm like, oh, then I have to climb up here and get on this platform, right? And then I can go, nope, nothing still. I got a collectible, but yeah, it's still just blocked off. So I'm like, okay, that's just the background. To find out there's just a door on the right that I just had to go through. I was like, oh, okay. I thought there was a little more depth to the level. I'm like, let me just go through this door, I guess.
Yeah.
And again, I kind of have the same thing to say about it as I did Corebreaker, where the game is not bad. There's nothing wrong with the game. It is just, I kind of funny said this a few years back. And one of their slogans is like, we're swimming in sevens. We're like, a 7 is not a bad score. That's good. That's that's a C, whatever. It's a good score for a game. Like a 7 is fine. But when you're surrounded by 8s, 9s, 10s, or other bangers that do something more unique and original, where you're like, this is awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on this. It would be hard for me to find the time to want to dive into this when I have so many other things that I want to play. So I don't know. I hope to see something in a future trailer or a showcase that like sells me on a little bit more. That's like, oh, I see. This is why I want to play this one over whatever else is available to play right now. But it's the niche for the people who want the 3D platformer. Like, I love 3D platformers. I'll play all of them. I always think of like the indie horror guys. So like, as soon as I finish one, I'm on to the next one. I have to imagine there's somebody out there who's just a sucker for every 3D platformer that comes out. I hope that audience finds this and this gets the love that they will give it. I'm just unimpressed, but again, no downsides, just nothing super exciting.
Okay.
Sorry,
Swimming
puppet.
in sevens.
Swimming in sevens. Which again, not a bad score, everybody. I'm just saying, like, quite literally, a 5 is mid. It's the middle of the road, which isn't bad. So all of you guys who keep using mid is terrible, learn your fucking grammar, dude.
Yeah.
God, learn words. But yeah, that's Once Upon a Puppet. I almost switched back to YouTube. I don't want that. But you obviously played another one that I have to look for. Found it. Okay.
Several more.
Yeah.
My next one is called Run TavernQuest.
Okay.
So basically, if you've ever thought about what it takes to run a tabletop RPG, and you realize that you can craft this beautiful world and create these intriguing storylines, and then have your players fuck it up completely by doing the dumbest shit possible. Run TavernQuest is basically that.
Okay.
It is a text-based computer game called TavernQuest, and you are the game.
Oh.
And this guy named Steve is playing you.
I want to point out real quick that its new gag me is really funny.
Yeah.
To me. It's
That's the humor of the game.
That's amazing.
Steve, the player, is basically an idiot.
Okay.
And yeah, the whole thing is he's an idiot, and how do you respond to that as a game? How do you deal with? So the story for the demo is separate from what the story will be in the full game.
Okay.
So I can spoil it slightly here.
Cool.
But basically, like you enter this shop full of weapons, and there's a dwarf there who introduces himself as the shopkeeper, and Steve is like, search garbage. And when you're like, then you can choose, like, for example, it's just garbage in this garbage can, and then Steve will be eat garbage.
Great.
And yeah, that's the kind of humor, that's the kind of player that you have to deal with here. Now the game offers you some really fun options to play around with this. You can just throw errors at him.
Okay.
Making it impossible to do whatever he wants to do, but you can play along as well. For example, I made the garbage explode at some point.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. The game is fully voice acted, which is cool.
Oh, bet I was about to ask. We have it muted, but yeah, I was like, oh, that's a lot of reading.
No, it's fully voice acted, and you can hear like the narrator's exasperation at times with Steve. He's like, press type help if you need help.
Steve?
But Steve never types help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
that's
you
really cool.
like, if you like the chaos of that makes tabletop RPGs fun, you're definitely gonna have a blast with this one.
Okay. Hell yeah. I should take the time as the player who has potentially either ruined or been a part of the ruining of campaign situations. Connor, Cujo, and potentially LB here in the future. Yo, sorry in advance or in post. So sorry. Sorry for being your Steve. No, this is cool because I was curious, right? And then you answered. I was wondering how like you determine, right? If they're like, Steve says do this, and then is it a much of like you're typing, but then I see you have the option on the side of like this is the option you have. So there are like the pre-scripted, like here are the choices you have to throw it back at Steve and like, all right, Steve, fucking trash can explode, you're dead. New game, new campaign.
Yeah.
Give me new players. That's really cool. I like that. Only indies, man. Only indies.
Yeah. It's really fun. Like I do like a good text-based adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And this is twisting it on its head.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. What else did I play? Oh, I played Demon Tides.
I was wondering when I saw the demo for this one, I was like, this might be one that's for Danny.
Yeah, I had a good time with this one. So Demon Tides is another 3D platformer. I'd actually been following this one on Twitter for a while. And if I recall, before the developers had like a name or anything, like, hey, we're working on this game. Look at our cloth modifiers. And they always had the same. It was this badass woman. I'm like, fuck me. She's really hot. But she has like a cape and a hood that like they always showed the same. I'm like, listen, it looks good. I can't wait to see what the rest of the game is. I haven't met that character yet. I don't know if she's just a sample or if she's ever in this game or not. But yeah, you play as, name of the character who I forgot, Beebs, because everyone says Beebs. I remembered. Your name is Beebs. But you are like part demon, I guess. I didn't really get the narrative beat there. So as you're like exploring this world, sometimes you can turn to like certain animals to help you progress. Like as you double jump, you'll turn into a bat. And depending what order you like, you can double jump and glide. And then if you well, you jump and then glide and then do the double jump, which will give you like a super jump, or you could just double jump to get up, vertically. And then there's like snake mode, which you can use to, like, as you get on the ground, you just do like this wood fucking roadrunner, like beep, beep, and just like scurry across the land like super fast. I really like the character designs. Like, you start the game off with like your shipwrecks, and you got to figure out like where am I going? What do we got to find? Who do we got to save? So you have, I can't think of any of the character names, but there's one like really cool, like nebula looking dude. He's like one of those like purple silhouettes that's got the eyeballs. I'm like, okay, yeah, you look cool, dude. You look awesome. You're stuck there. I was hoping to find the character spot. This character, I think it's Lucy, is like the first one you find. You're just getting your crew back together to like set sail. I really only finished like the tutorial for this one. As you get in the shipwrecks, you find the crew, you're like, cool, we got to fix the ship. They send you off in this like open zone type area to find like 5 pieces of scrap. It gives you a chance to test out the flying, the platforming, everything like that. Once you have it, the cutscene kicks in, the logo splash art shows up, and the character's like, hey, are we going to mention the giant picture in the sky? Like, nope, we're not going to talk about that for like the logo. And then you go on. That's where I'd stopped, trying to get some time in before the episode today. But yeah, I think this one's going to be fun. I sat right after just talking about, Once Upon a Puppet, and being like, it wasn't super remarkable. I think this one does some cool things with some of the platforming, and some of the different abilities you can use to like progress yourself forward, I think are fun. Again, not a like super remarkable, like, oh man, no game's ever done something like this before, but I think it stylistically is very fun. And then the platforming was enjoyable. There's the moment where like, hey, when you jump and press LT, you'll like glide forward. I hit RT, which is like a dash. So I was like, I guess I just have to be super like patient with how I like slam into stuff. I'm like, oh, you want me to hit LT? My bad. I was being super aggressive about it. Like I was slamming into platforms instead of gliding to them. But yeah, I think visually this one's really cool. I think it could have a unique story. I like the characters. I'm hoping here they show. Yes, you have like DK, who's easily my favorite design character. I love the style. And then you have Midgie, who's like, when you find Midgie, the whole thing is we're going to find the character. Hey, DK, come teleport him back to the shipwreck and we'll all gather together. And Midgie's like, well, actually, I thought if we take the ship and we do this and we take this part and we reconfigure that. And he does like, he rambles and rambles and rambles. And in the middle of it, in the cutscene, like DK like pops up and like wraps his hands around Midgie and like just starts to like take him away. And it's like, well, anyway, what's going on? I'm just, oh my God. And just like sucks into like the purple void in the ground. Like, all right, see you, bud. Time to go back to where we were. It's cute. It's really charming. I think the characters are going to have some really cool moments. I'm excited to see more, especially after like some of the teasers we've seen on like social media and whatnot. Here's the snake mode I was talking about. You just like zoom in. You're just flying. It's really cute. I did have a weird moment. I'll see if I have the footage or not. When they introduce the like snake mode, there's a cutscene by the way. Is it here? Is it there? Is it anywhere? It gave me a little bit of struggles where like it was just like snapping in and out of here. So like it would like switch into snake mode. I'm like, cool. And let me land in the water, and then and I'm like, was that supposed to happen? I'm 90% sure it was just like the macro on my controller being like, RB might be hitting itself twice or something. I might have to fix that because I set the macro, set the button, and then it just like whatever. So that might be what's happening. So I might have to like hold it just a second longer. So I hit it like 3 times instead of 2, or I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, that was a goofy thing that was happening. Or it could just be the demo itself and it's not my controller, but I assume it's my controller doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is cute. I'm excited to see more of it. I think the demo, what I played of the demo was simple enough to get me into it and see like what the vibe of the world is without fully diving in. So yeah, Demon Tides. I need the Cape Woman back, please. Just for science. Let's see. We did yours. We're on your next game. Now that I pull up for context, everyone's like, Danny, why you just because I have 4 windows up. I have my folder of footage. I have Topher's folder of footage. I have the document so I know what's next. So I have to open the document, go back to my folder. Okay, I got to get Topher. Now I pull up Topher's footage. Then I can transition into Topher to say, Topher, talk about your game. As I open the footage, as Topher intros the game. And then I use all that to ramble so I can have the footage pulled up. So we're already ready. Anyway, Topher, your turn. I'm a one-man setup here. I got it all situated.
That was so professional. Damn. My next game is called Kaya's Prophecy.
Okay.
Which caught my interest through its beautiful art, but completely hooked me by combining the best of 2 different card games. There's the typical roguelike deck builder fare of something like Slay the Spire, which you start the game with. But that gets switched up with the town building of something like Stacklands, which is also card-based. Yeah. That's basically all there is to it, really. That I can talk about right now.
That's the game.
The roguelike deck building parts play really well. Something different to regular roguelike deck builders is that the cards you unlock after each fight can be used in the town building section. They're not added to your deck for the fights.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something different. But I just like that it combines both of these excellent genres into one game. So basically, when you start out with the battles, at the end, you apparently unleash this kind of demon, and he's like,
that.
He's like, oh, I ruined your town. Now you have to rebuild it, but you have to do it for me. And then you have these cards that you can use. You can then buy new booster packs with new cards to like expand your town. But every day, at the end of the day, you have to have enough food to satiate the demon. If he doesn't have enough food, then you will probably die. I don't know, because I always have enough food.
Because I'm just that good. I wasn't even worried about it. I don't die. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're going to hear me say that in a minute.
You just play around with these cards with the different ingredients. You can start building buildings. You can. There's the possibility of like getting even more townsfolk, so that you're not on your own anymore. There's plenty of options. I barely scratched the surface, but it plays beautifully. It looks gorgeous. I think I really adore the artwork here.
Character art's awesome.
This is a must play for me.
Yeah, I'm sold on it. It looks really dope. I mentioned Deadly Path earlier, right? Which had the similar, like, you open the booster packs, you get the card, or sorry, they don't have the booster packs. Laying the cards out and doing everything.
Yeah.
But it did an ad a couple months ago for Kingdom of Cards, which is very similar to this. That is you have the booster packs, you open it, you get a new warrior. You have to figure out what's the formula to make that warrior. So you take the basic character, take them to the blacksmith, they evolve into the smithy, and then the smithy can now carry a iron sword, which makes them a warrior, et cetera, et cetera. So this looks like it's going to share that same kind of vibe of like place the cards, get the materials. These guys will build this thing, craft this thing, get this material. Yeah. I think this one looks really dope.
It does. And if it's as much fun as Stacklands was, then we're in for a very good time.
Favorite treat. So I see, and I'm wondering, because like I'm just scrubbing through the footage for the YouTube viewers, a lot more of the Stacklands part than the like Slay the Spire part. Did it seem weighted that way? Like you did a match and went back, or like was it more you spent time there? Or?
I had to unlock like. So you unlock these booster packs, and then within these booster packs there can be a card that says go back to the roguelike deck building part.
Okay. Got it.
Otherwise you just stay stuck on the Stacklands part.
Okay.
I don't know how frequent these cards will occur. I don't know, because I only played for like 15 minutes, I think.
Okay.
So I did 2 runs of the actual battling, but all the rest of my time was spent doing the town building.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know about that. The town building looks like the fun part. I'm all about that one. So, hell yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Like looking at Koa, the little art for this little guy, and then the plunder is really cute. This is fun. This is adorable.
No, right?
10 out of 10 would play. I don't know. Do we have a date for that one? I'm double checking.
I don't think so. I don't remember. Second quarter of the year.
All right, chat. We're home stretch. Almost there. I had a wish list over here. Boop. What did I put next? I forget. That's right. Timestamp.
Another one I haven't heard of.
Another one you what?
That I haven't heard of.
That, let me tell you. Let me tell you about Blueprint Bob. I sucked at this one. I was really bad at this one. So, Blueprint Bob is a... I hesitate to say 2D platformer because it's really not that, but kind of is. But it is a physics puzzle where you get a certain amount of objects, usually they're boxes or pieces of wood, and your goal is to build up to a certain height so that you can have Bob climb up those platforms and then stay above a certain line. Anyone who has played like the racing challenge in Tricky Towers, where it's like build the whole thing up and be like have your tower stand up for like 3 seconds so it reaches the top. That's the goal. Yeah. But you're just doing it solo in puzzles. Like the tutorials you're playing is like baby Bob being like, I want to play with the stuff. But Bob is just this little like angry little man. I'm just here, grumpy. He just there's no emotion behind those eyes other than just like boredom and also waiting for you to do the puzzles. I think I was just in the wrong headspace for this one where I just could not for the life of me figure it out.
Okay.
Where like you see on this, they're like, here, you want to hit 6 feet, and then if you hit 7 feet, you get like the gold star, but you just need the green star to pass. I passed the first level. I think it's like the second or third one, where you have a trampoline and you have to stand up to that 6 foot spot, and I could not figure it out for so long. It's like I spent so much time on this, but Bob can only jump so high. In this level, you get a trampoline. So I'm like, okay, so we jump here. So I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to work because once you hit play, so much like Tempopo, you place the stuff, you start the level, and everything kind of falls into place and activates. You could put stuff in the sky, and when you hit play, that's when the physics comes in and it'll drop to the ground. You can rotate things on like, I think it's like the 8 kind of axis. You have vertical, horizontal, and then like 2 ticks in between or whatever. And like I was able to get so high, I'm like, well, how do I get up here? I could put another box, but Bob can't jump high enough to get to that. So I need to put a box down and then the trampoline, but then I can't jump on the box because Bob can only jump like 2 inches off the ground. So I struggled a lot. I hesitate to say the game was challenging. I think I just sucked at it.
Okay.
But I do like the presentation. I do like the idea of the game. I do like what some of the puzzles are. I think this could be a really fun one to sit around and mess with. I did call it pretty short. I think I only played for like 20 minutes after a while. And there was a lot of like, let me stop to answer a text in the middle. Not to show any like dissatisfaction with the game. Might have just been a bad headspace or just I suck at it as it is. But I think it's cool. I like these type of puzzles, the physics puzzles of like, I built the level, now I get the platform and then do it again. But like here, I have 3 pieces of wood. I'm like, I don't know. How do I do that? And then I like accidentally, I'm like, oh, this is how this would work. Now I just have to do it right. So there, it might just be that challenging where it's like, oh, get ready for a hard time, kids. But it was fun. I do like the presentation. I would love to see myself do better at it, maybe in the future. But for now, I'll tell you, maybe, I was bad.
I was gonna say maybe in a week when there's no Monster Hunter.
That's true. That could be it. The fact that I didn't have a hammer or a giant Rathalos to smack, that's probably why I just didn't get the game.
Exactly.
We're in Unga Bunga mode, dog. It's just whoop. But yeah, Blueprint Bob. It was a fun one. This is one of the like nicher ones that I found. I'm like, let me give this one a shot. I didn't expect to see this one. And then I didn't check if this one's anywhere near release or not. I think
second quarter of the year as well.
Damn, second quarter is gonna be packed, team.
Yep.
Actually, I figured out some of the puzzles by pulling up the Steam page and be like, oh, okay, hold on. Now I think I could try this with the... this'll work. That'll work. So, yeah, definitely a lot of trial and error that didn't go super well for me, but we bobbing.
All right.
But yeah, I'm done with Blueprint. Bob, what else you got?
I have something spooky.
No.
Yes. It's called Static Dread.
I've definitely got emails about this one.
The developers themselves describe their game as Lovecraft meets Papers, Please.
Right. Okay.
That is a really apt description. I would probably add Dredge as an influence here, but then again, Dredge is influenced by Lovecraft, so...
Sure.
Yeah.
Same at.
Basically, it comes down to you being the new lighthouse keeper.
Okay.
But darkness is enveloping your tower. You have to keep the lights on and guide ships to their destinations and, try to survive as well. You have 15 days that you have to spend there. And you have to try and make it to the end. Gameplay is divided in a couple of things. You can walk around freely within the building of the light tower.
Mm-hmm.
When someone knocks at the door, as people can see, if they're watching on YouTube, you'll get these 2D presentation with their conversations being text based. And then there's the Papers, Please part, where you have to answer your radio when ships are nearing your light tower. And you get, your fax machine will deliver you a map with the current location of the ship. And you have to, draw the route that they have to take to get to the port of their destination.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not a map. That's a note.
But that's cool. Basically it. The big thing for this demo is just the vibes. The demo starts with you moving in, and paranoia sets in almost immediately. Okay. One of the things that your boss mentions to you is you can't let anyone inside the building. Okay. The first person to knock at your door is like, "Can I come in?"
Come on in. What's up?
Yeah. But the thing is, when you do things that you're not allowed to do, you get fines like you do in Papers, Please. So you have to be careful and because... So I let that first guy in.
Uh-huh.
And then the next day he was gonna set off on his own ship. And then the second night, that guy's father comes around and he's like, "Have you seen my son?"
Nope.
I don't know where he is. He was supposed to take off and I haven't seen him.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know where he is. He left here yesterday. And he's like, "Can I come in to check?"
No.
And then I was like, "No, I already got a fine for letting your son in. I'm not gonna let you in as well." Yeah. Fine, I get it. God. It's yeah. This is gonna be one of my favorite horror games whenever it releases. I'm pretty sure of it. The writing cool. is good. The visuals are cool. I really like the style. I don't know if you noticed, but the interior of the building, it's all crooked.
I did see that.
Yeah. It and that really adds to that sense of paranoia of things aren't what they're supposed to be.
Hey, initially it gave me the Psychonauts. I'm like, oh yeah, just there are no straight lines, just a goofy curly. I'm like, no, it's pretty creepy actually. That is all just this house gonna cave in. I don't want to be in here. I like what I'm seeing, right? And as someone who has had my beef with Papers, Please, where I'm like, this game is so cool. God, why is it so freaking punishing? Every time I need an extra $5 for my son's medicine, so I'm going to jail. Fuck this game. And then I was a big fan of Little Guardsman, where I'm like, oh cool, this is the cozy version of Papers, Please. Now this is my Dredge Papers, Please. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. I think I like this one. I think I like this one a lot.
Yeah. This is gonna be a cool one.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I wanna check this one out. Fucking
I definitely recommend it.
I gotta make sure.
Now,
this one's
I have to say, okay. I need a toilet break. But why don't you tell me about your next game while I go to the bathroom.
I will. I will do exactly that as I find the footage.
I will be right back.
Go do your beautiful thing. It's only been 2 hours, hour and 53 minutes as we started recording. But hey, everybody, remember, this is Playlog Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things indie game. We do news, reviews, and whatever we choose, where we get to talk about some of the stuff during Steam Next Fest. I'm rambling as I pull up the footage here. So, I played a game called Aethermancer. So I actually received a key for this one before Next Fest kicked off. I just didn't get a chance to play it until literally this morning. But damn, it is basically a Pokemon roguelike. Similar to the Slay the Spire, not the deck building part, but the 3 people on the screen type, fighting each other deal, where you start out as this, I guess the Aethermancer is the name of the character, the class. But you run in, you pick your starter Pokemon, right? Your starter monster. I went with Jotun, who is this giant ice bull. I guess he's more of a water wind bull, but he's really cool. He's tanky as all shit. And the way it works is when you go to fight a monster, before you defeat them, you want to record their data with a blank memento. So imagine cassette beasts. So unlike Pokemon where you want to knock them out or get them weak, throw the Pokeball, I have them now. You are more, I found the monster. If I stagger them, I can record their data. And now at the start of a run, I could potentially start with that Pokemon, that monster. But the only one that's a guarantee is your starter. So I did really well starting this game where I didn't die at all. I got all the way to the second area. I'm like, I think I need to just do a fresh run so I know how a run starts. Because I think I physically couldn't throw. I was like, I don't know how to throw this game. My guy's too strong.
Okay.
So I said, do run. Are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, I really don't because I have a good build here, but I guess I'll run with it. But yeah, you capture new Pokemon. They go into a database. And then when you start a new run, you'll get your starter. You go out. Each new area have these little shrines, which they'll be like, all right, here are the 3 Pokemon. I'm going to keep saying Pokemon, but the 3 monsters you can choose from. Which one do you want? To bring one to life, you need to have a blank memento, which we'll say is the equivalent of a Pokeball. And you can have up to 3 monsters on your team. And then once you have 3, you get to a new area. You can replace one with a shrine, or I ran with the same team throughout. So I never really took time to switch because you will level them up as you progress. They have worthiness, which I don't know exactly what that will equate to in the long run. I assume it's just obviously permanent stats and stuff over time. But then they have XP as you go through the run, which will start as there's 2 XP bars. When you finish one match, that's 1 XP. The second match, that's 2. They level up to level 2. That'll upgrade. Now it's 4 XP bars. So each battle will give you 1 full XP bar until you level up again, which will be like in any other roguelike. You get, this does more damage. This does that. You get more defenses. Topher, there's a lot of bells and whistles in this game. It's in the weird spot where I don't think it's overwhelming. I wasn't like, I mean, a lot of times I had no idea what was happening. It never was a loss for me. I was never like, oh no, I don't understand. But I'm gonna see if I can find a clip of all the things that pinged at once. Yeah. So the team I ended up having was Jotun. It's Tatzelweasel, and then Morgadana or something like that, which is a little root guy. The little root guy had a perk where anytime one of my allied monsters used a water move, he would use regenerate. He would give everybody regenerate, which at the start of the turn would give them a certain amount of health back. So I could constantly be healing my guys with his stat. But by default, he gives himself regenerate. Eventually, I got an upgrade that said whenever one of your monsters does an action, it activates regenerate. So as long as they have it, once they do something, they'll start to heal. So I was in this cycle of as soon as I would go to attack with one monster, like my bull who has a water move, I would hit somebody with water. He's like, did I smell water? Everybody heal. He's like, cool. When my turn starts, they're all going to heal. But then I had the ability to just activate. So as soon as he would attack, he would heal. But then because someone got regenerate, it would activate the original ability, which would give someone else regenerate. So one attack would just be like, ding, 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 ding. And you see all these things popping up on the screen at once. I'm like, whoa, I'm still good, but what was all of that? What the heck? A lot of things were happening, and I think that's what this game's going to be like. The other thing is every turn you're unlocking, not aura, I guess Aether. I think it's just called Aether. So there's 5 different types. There's fire, earth, water, and wind. And then there's wild, which is just general. That could be anything. So when you go to start, and for video watchers might make more sense, audio, I'm so sorry, this is going to be confusing for you. Each monster's attacks this is the Aether you need to spend to use it. So like my bull, I had one move that was just wind. I had one move that was water and wind. So as long as I have enough, I can use that move. The effects will take place at the end of a turn, depending which attacks I used, or sometimes they'll be randomly drawn depending what other abilities you have. It'll add back to your stockpile, and then that will decide what attacks you can use again. I very rarely didn't have the stuff that I needed to do some of my cool attacks. Some of the more powerful ones, like my little root dude here, he had one that was heal everybody on the team, as well as give you one of every type of Aether, which only cost, I think it was like a fire and a grass or something fire and a wind. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of busted. So I would like heal everybody and then get more stats back. So I'd start the turn with that. So then I'm like, oh, cool, I got more Aether for this. So now my bull can do his water move, which will then, again, prompt the regenerator, which will prompt this, which will heal him. But because he attacked, it'll also heal him at the same time. And like, it was that chain events of there's something happening all the time. And it's really cool. And it's really fun. And yeah, I'm into this one, like, a lot.
I can imagine.
This seems like a Steam Deck kickback game.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like, I don't know, this more grown-up version of Pokemon.
Kind of
playing as a freaking child.
Yeah.
But mixed with like the everything's happening at once of something like Balatro.
Yeah, we like the ding dings.
Yeah, that could get really addictive.
Yeah, I want to find like a because like this is one of the bosses you find, right? And the monsters you fight have stagger, and I was mentioning so when you go to capture them, but like it'll show on their like health bar, like, hey, this guy has 4 fire. If you hit him with 4 fire moves, it'll stagger him, which puts him in the state to be captured. You don't like put him in a Pokeball and take him off the map. It's more of the cassette beast of I recorded their data. Now I have the chance to have them at the start of a run or when I get to a shrine so I can activate them. But some of the bosses, they have like big stagger meters that are not type based. They're just like hit him 20 times and then he'll get staggered. Okay. Most of the time when you stagger someone, they don't get an attack. The bosses have like multiple attacks. They just lose like one of them. But I didn't have a blank memento, so I don't know if I could have captured that boss. It'd be really cool if I could have had him on the team. But yeah, it is one of those like you have to hope to find a Pokeball when you get out there. Otherwise, you might not get them. So it's really trying to get the abilities, but building on these monsters and having so much, like I'm regretting starting a new run. I'm glad I did it for the sake of explaining how a new run starts, but being like, I had some really good shit with my team. And like, I would love to see how far I could have gotten without like having to die or reset. Cause I got through the first world. I beat the first boss. I was into the second area. And there's all these characters that are around. Like there's like this cool frog character who's just like, I cook stuff. Would you like things? And when you take some food, you have the option of boosting your stats while you, I guess technically you get like a boon, which gives you whatever kind of boost while taking the downside of corruption, which is a whole other mechanic. But essentially the corruption on your character, the more you have, the less starting health you will have at the start of any fight. So like you want to keep that corruption down as much as you can. It tends to affect everyone, not your starter, a lot more. My starter has always been like basically clear of corruption until like someone places it on him. But then, you bring it down. Cool. We're clean. I still have more of my potential health. So it's always nice to clear that when you can at like campfires. I got to one of the bases, like delete 20 corruption. And I was like, cool, they're down to like 5. It's not a big deal. Again, it's a lot of those, like there's this stat to track and this stat to track and this thing to pay attention to. And I put this thing in. But Pokemon roguelike is really cool. It's fun. Okay. And the animations are fucking sick.
I just noticed that it's by the same people who made Monster Sanctuary.
That I did not know. Okay, makes sense though.
I think it's cool that they went like monster taming meets Metroidvania didn't really work. Yeah. Let's try something else with monster taming.
Yeah, I think this works well. I didn't play any Monster Sanctuary. I remember talking about it in like Indie's like Pokemon video, but never had my hands on it myself. But no, I fuck with this one heavy. It's the another thing of it's definitely not the first creature catch. I mean, we had like Pokerogue itself, right? But like this is so many different things to it, so many different stats, so many things to pay attention to. I was interested in doing a new save file because there were 2 starters to pick from. There were some who were still locked for the demo, but Like we had Jotun here. It was like, cool, I exist. I'm here. This is my starter. But there was also like a cool like fire lizard looking dude who I like by principle. I was like, ew, you look kind of like Charizard. I don't like you. So,
oh no,
sorry, Charizard, you're overhyped.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Blastoise for the win.
Let's go! Big man Blastoise, baby. But no, I love the designs. Like even like this Tatzelworm guy, I'm like, you're like the Rattata. You look so basic. But he came in clutch. He had a cool like Fire Claw attack that hit like 4 times in a row. Eventually I upgraded him where like he had a crit chance where, not even crit chance, every third hit from that attack would be crit. So like, oh cool, I was always getting that extra damage whenever I would use that attack. Or I got a Meteor Strike that was only 1, but it did 10 damage, or it did fire damage, so it would always spread and shatter whoever it hit and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I love visually this game. I love the designs for the Pokemon, the monster type characters. The hub world's really pretty. The sprite work's awesome. The animations are dope. Like there's just quality all around in this one. And I want to dig deeper and see more of like where the challenge is going to come in. I don't know if the demo's just easier or if I'm literally just that fucking good. But I hadn't died. I hadn't lost any of the Pokemon. I just had to reset for the sake of being like, well, what would happen if this happens? So
yeah,
you know, fresh run. Though.
Also, Gustavo looks awesome.
He's adorable. I didn't get to talk to him much. There's the character next to him. I ran into her in the wild. She's like, oh, could you find me this stuff? He's like, well, for Gustavo, he's like, yeah, he has a sick tummy today. He's like, maybe you shouldn't go out into the fucking ether to find stuff for the sick capybara. He's like, I know, I'll go home. And I'm like, I don't know who this Gustavo is. Then I came back. I'm like, oh, found out who Gustavo is. The little capybara. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I like the vibe of this one a lot. It's really cool. But with that was my last demo. That's all I had, so.
Okay.
It's all you now, Tofsky.
Okay, I have a couple more, but maybe I should like start being a bit more compact with my...
Yeah, sure, fuck it. Run it.
Okay.
What you gotta do?
My
2
next
hours?
demo... Okay. My next demo is called Skin Deep. This is a game that I spotted during the recent Annapurna Interactive Showcase. And just like the story behind the game is just really insane, and I had to check it out. Basically, you are an insurance person who just so happened to have been an incredible secret agent back in her day. And you have to find out what is happening aboard this starship that you get to explore freely. Your enemies have one big trick up their sleeves, though, because when they die, their heads float off to look for a new body.
Okay.
So you have to get rid of them before... you have to get rid of the head before you can like move on to your next enemies.
Okay.
For example, while playing the demo, I had to flush a head down the toilet and out into outer space. Also, you are outnumbered, outgunned, and you have no shoes.
I saw that. I saw the bare feet. Oh no.
Yeah, you run into some glass and you actually like it wounds your foot. So you have to get the shards out of your foot to heal up. But yeah, it's there's like this sense of humor to this one, but at the same time it plays really well as a first-person shooter. Like this is the kind of innovative gameplay that I want from a shooter. I don't want to just play a Call of Duty clone or something like that. I want stuff like this, and yeah. This is gonna be another banger for Annapurna.
Oh yeah. Is it a roguelike then, or?
I don't think so, because
okay.
you when you die, you just start get back up. Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can see in the video version, you defibrillate and just get back up and continue playing.
Got it.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the things I had to do was like I had this packet of pepper.
Okay.
And I had to throw it at someone to make them sneeze so they wouldn't see me coming at them. And then I had to jump on his back and then run him into the wall to make because I had no weapons.
That's cool. It's so weird because I've had this wish listed for so long, and I don't know what game I confuse it with, but there's another game that I have at the top of my wish list that's like coming soon. That was a very like artsy paint your entire room game that I'll have to double check before the episode's over to be like, what game did I think this was? And then I saw at the end of Annapurna Direct, I'm like, did this game change? This is not what I thought it was. And now I'm seeing it, and I knew it was a first-person shooter, but now I'm like, oh, this is still way sillier than I thought, and I'm all for it. I think this looks great. I've always been a sucker for like Far Cry's, right? The single-player first-person shooters. Like that's another AAA game that I'll like, cool, let me make time for Far Cry because I love it. And this looks just wild and stupid and goofy, and yeah, we love that. We stay in that.
Yep. It's a really good one.
Skin
My next game, my penultimate demo, is called Arctic Awakening.
Yes, I had this on the list. I didn't play this one yet.
Yeah, this is a game I've had on my wish list for quite some time, so I was really happy to see that it got a demo for Next Fest. It's a first-person narrative adventure in the vein of something like Firewatch.
Yep.
Except that here your plane crashed during a storm, leaving you trapped in a very snowy countryside, with no one but your court-mandated therapy bot for company.
He's so cute.
That cute robot that you can see right now is actually a therapy bot, and he is pretty useless.
Aww.
He's like, after you crash, and you're like, you ask him, like, can you help out? And he's like, how are you feeling about all of this? And I'm like, this is not the time for questions like days.
Later.
Yeah. But yeah, there are clearly secret things going on here. As, for example, your plane crashed because it was cut in half midair. And you basically spend the demo first trying to like start a fire so you don't freeze to death. And trying to get into contact with your co-pilot who jumped from the plane before the crash. The question is, will you discover like big secrets going on here, and will you survive to tell the tale?
Probably not.
This could easily be another game that becomes a classic like Firewatch was.
Yeah.
It plays as well, it looks as good. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks promising.
Yeah, I when it showed up on my like games on your wish list, I'm like, okay, cool, this one looks dope. I couldn't tell from some of the gameplay if it was more survival game, where I'm like, we'll see if I'm into that, or if it was just like the linear, open world narrative type deal, you know.
It feels pretty linear.
Like, cool.
It feels pretty linear.
More like Firewatch. It's like, okay, I'm very excited for this then.
Yeah.
Oop, excuse me, burped again. Yeah, I love it. Well, now I'm gonna look at just all snow, which I fucking hate snow. It's terrible. But
how can you hate snow?
Because it's cold and it's gross and I'm sick of it and I have to drive in it sometimes and I'm tired of it. That's it. Sit by the fire. I thought it said sit on the fire. I'm like, what game am I playing? What is this?
That would be MonsterCon probably.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let me sit in the fire. Now it all makes sense. Hell yeah. Right. No, yeah, this looks adorable. I'm very excited for this one.
Mm-hmm. And then my final game, obviously I had to pick something else that uses cards. Because there aren't enough card games yet in this episode.
We need more.
It's called Deck of Haunts. And in this game you become the haunted house. You play cards from your deck in order to either kill the people who come into your building or to scare them into insanity.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. You build your mansion one room at a time and allow people to enter your walls only to make their lives hell on earth while they're inside. It's important though, like there comes a time when they've been injured enough or scared enough that they'll try to run away. And you have to try and not let that happen, because the more people make it out alive, the better prepared new visitors will be. And these new visitors will move to the room where the heart of the building is.
Okay.
As you can see, like the shiny red thing in one of the rooms, that's the heart of the building. And that can be damaged. That's like what the people coming into the house are supposed to do. Kill the heart. and you have to kill them instead.
Gotcha. Fucking murder.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to like strategize. You can make some of your rooms become trap rooms. You can choose whether to like focus more on scaring them or actually killing them. There was a bit of variety to what you could do in the demo. Not too much. I'm hoping they still build on that for the full game. But I did have a really good time with it.
Hell yeah.
It's fun just like seeing these people enter, and then the moment they realize they're in too deep, and then you're like, let me injure you some more. Yeah. It really brought out the villain in me.
Listen, that's scary. That's scary to hear. That's scary to hear. Yeah, I think another one that was on the wish list, or it showed up, and I'm like, okay, but I'll keep this one in mind, and just slipped away. But yeah, looking at it now, I'm like, okay, I see it. And it's another one of those, like, it's a genre that's not really in my like wheelhouse typically. But then I'm like, well, I did play that one. I really like that, and this looks like I'd get that kind of. Yeah, okay. I could see a night where this is all I play. I'm like, bet me in it. But yeah, this looks fun. I like this one.
Yeah. But those were my demos.
Oh boy, those were our demos. That was a lot of demos. Guys, but we made it in the end. Timestamp that, Topher. You would then put in, if you had to select 3 games that you played during Next Fest to recommend putting on people's wish list, which 3 would it be? So I'd love to hear which ones that you think all these people got to play first.
Tempopo is just a puzzle game that everyone will enjoy, I think. Like, no matter your age or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's something to be found here because the puzzles are fun, but the world is colorful. It's just a good time.
Yeah.
Another one is Wheel World. I'm just so curious to see like how that world evolves. The further in you go, especially with the freedom. Like, I think the devs really emphasize that you can choose whether you want to focus on the story or if you'd rather go exploring instead.
Yeah.
I really like that because riding your bike in that one is just so much fun. Way more fun than actually riding a bike.
Yeah, that's too much exercise.
Yeah. And my final recommendation would be Wanderstop, which will be releasing very soon now. And it's just the combination of like dealing with a heavy subject like burnout, but then having this cozy gameplay in this beautiful world. Yeah, that's completely my vibe.
Bet. That's a great list. Yeah, like again, I haven't touched Real World, but that'll be soon. Wanderstop doing the preview, and then also playing Tempopo. Yeah, that's a great 3 to pick. I think all those should be on your wish list. Just like I also think these 3 should be on your wish list. I'll start bottom up. I talked Luz Lagoon in our last episode. I had been following that one on TikTok for so long, and the visual style, the cuteness, the vibe of the entire thing of just exploring an island to eventually unlock a plane so you can fly between islands and make deliveries using your missing uncle's delivery company, and just the gameplay loop was so much fun. And it was one of those, the credits rolled, I'm like, no, it can't end, I need to play more, I'm not done yet, I need to experience more of this. I'm gonna lose so many hours in that game. Aethermancer, which we just talked about, being the Pokemon roguelike type deal. Just seeing the visuals, and there's this thing about like Pokemon, right? When they announce a new one, and we're on the heels of like Pokemon ZA and being like, what new megas are we gonna get, or what new like regional variants, like that excitement of seeing new Pokemon or new version of things that we love. There's that same spark of like, what kind of monsters am I going to run into this game, and how are they going to help my team? And I'm very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, fucking MonsterCon, dude. I sing the praise of Monster Prom. Yeah, you even never thought. I sing the praise of Monster Prom every time we talk about it. I love this franchise. One of my favorite of all time. And then finally getting my hands on the 4th game and seeing how it is so much like the original, but does so much that's unique and adds this like, hey, you like anime? Oh, buddy, do we got some references for you? And seeing like the dorky weird characters, all the new date options. God damn it, Omen choked the fuck out of me, bro. Anyway, yeah, MonsterCon. I'm gonna have a blast. Can't wait.
Yeah,
that's an
excellent list as well.
Right. We got some good taste over here, dude. It's pretty good.
Absolutely.
But yes, that for now is all of our Steam Next Fest conversation. See you in. There's not one in June. Is October's the next one?
I think there's one in June.
June? Fuck me.
I think so. Let me check.
Damn.
Because I
Next Fest. Is it 3 times a year? Is it twice? I always thought it was twice a year. I think it became 3 times a year. Damn.
I think I remember putting it in like in like my calendar that there was. No. Wait.
It's somewhere. I know on our episode guide we have something in there, but I forget when that was.
Yeah, I forget as well.
Oh, hey, listen, you'll know. When you see 2-3 hour episodes, you'll know when Next Fest is. But this time we jump into what we've been playing. I've been playing Monster Hunter, so I got nothing. So Topher, I love to hear. I know people are like, 2 hours? Fuck it. Live your life. We got it. We're close to the end. We're closer to the end than we were, people, so we got it. But you have some games you've been playing that I'd love to hear about. So what
yes. I received a review key for Grimoire Groves.
Yeah.
This is a colorful and beautiful roguelite dungeon crawler by developer Stardust. You play Primrose, a wannabe witch who visits her aunt Lavender to train to become a witch. Primrose is this incredibly excited young person. Even though her training at first seems to mostly consist of getting Lavender's garden back to what it used to be. Mm-hmm. But her enthusiasm is just, it's amazing. She's like, she'll start shouting at random moments, and it's brilliant. But yeah, to get the Lavender's garden back in shape, she has to travel to the forests where you feed plant creatures your magic in order to gather seeds and fruits. During your adventures in the forests, you will also meet a cast of wonderful characters, including these elemental creatures who have fallen out with each other, causing the forest and Lavender's garden to falter.
Oh.
Yeah. This game is an absolute joy to play. The gameplay just feels really good in the same way that something like Hades feels really good to play. Instead of combat, here you're like feeding the magic to the plants, but there's still this element of, should I call it, strategy to it? Because, for example, some of the plant creatures will start clinging to you, which will drain your energy. Or other plants will throw mud at you, which can also drain your energy. Or if you don't keep the connection to these plants alive, it will also cost you energy. So it kind of feels like combat, but it isn't combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there like a fail state to that? Like, is there like, I've drained too much and we like pass out, go back home? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, you fall asleep in the forests and you wake up in the garden.
Oh, fun.
So it's not like you can die or anything like that. Yeah. But you when you fall asleep and get back to the garden, you won't have everything that you've collected still with you.
Damn.
So there is that kind of fail state.
Okay.
Also, I struggled a little bit with exploring the forests because for it, there was a moment where I just didn't realize why I was losing so much energy. But the cool thing is there is a option to put the game in relaxed mode to make it all that much easier. And I started playing on relaxed mode and I didn't stop.
Fair enough.
But yeah, to some it might come as a little bit of a drag trying to get all of the right seeds and fruits to restore the garden because you need lots of them. You have like the game is very much based in the 4 elements.
Okay.
And you have to restore like these 4 parts of the garden. But you need to plant different kinds of flowers. But then to grow them, you have to feed them ingredients. And collecting all of those takes some time. It can be a bit grindy.
Okay.
I didn't mind because going into the forests, these runs were always pretty quick. It's
Okay,
not
cool.
like you spend an hour doing a run before returning to the garden. No, you're like gone for a couple of minutes. You return, you feed some of the ingredients, and you go back in for another run. But also, like, I just didn't mind because I loved spending more and more time in this world. It's so colorful. The art is really beautiful. The music is cozy. This is like if you ever played Hades and you were like, man, I wish this was like a cozy game. Grimoire Groves, baby.
The Cozy Hades team.
Yes.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Put that on the
It
poster,
combines-
accolades trailer. Do it all.
It combines like a little bit of gardening, the dungeon crawling, and also the what you would call it, the decorating your garden and like your little hut where you're staying. And it's just such a cozy time. This is definitely gonna be one of the better cozy games releasing this year. And I say that knowing full well that there are tons of cozy games releasing this year.
Wonder stop. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is gonna be up there with the best of them.
Bet. Like visually, I love it. I love what I'm seeing. Grimoire Grove is one that I feel like we've seen for like so long, right? And there's so many indies that are like that, right? Where I remember it got announced, we saw it a trailer somewhere, and then it came out. I'm like, oh right, this game's out now, huh? Like it's insane. You just get so used to waiting for a game to finally come out, and then when it's there, you're like, oh shit, huh? I didn't.
Yeah.
We're here. We're there. So it's bizarre to me that this is like here now. That this is like real. Yeah. But it looks adorable. Yeah, I love the visual style. I could see myself getting lost in it at some point. I don't know that it's like immediately on like my to-do list, but it seems like a great like, oh look, this is on sale. I mean, I guess it's time. Like, let me grab this one.
I definitely recommend it. There's like also what I forgot to mention earlier. So in combat you use spells. Okay. You have to feed magic to all of these plant creatures, but you can use different kinds of spells. There's like a part of Lavender's garden that's filled with mushrooms, and all of these mushrooms are different spells that you can unlock.
Yeah.
And they will influence the way you play. For example, at the start of the game, Lavender's like, go ahead and unlock one spell for free. And then you get the option, either it's like a gust of magic that blows plant creatures away from you, or it's like this kind of... It functions like a black hole. Like you throw it somewhere and all plant creatures will be sucked towards the middle of it.
Fun.
And that will influence the way you play the game. And there's more and more of these spells to unlock. There's also like... I mentioned the elements before. Spells come in 4 different elements because the plants come in 4 different elements. And you have to feed the right kind of elemental magic to the right kind of plant. And at the start of the game, that's pretty basic because you only have access to 2 different elements. But further along in the game, you have, like, for example, water, the water element and the fire element, and they are opposites of each other. So if you happen to feed fire magic to a water plant creature, it will damage them.
Okay.
So you have to take that into consideration as well, because every time you go into the forest, you'll meet a mixture of plant creatures from the different elements. So you have to be careful that you feed all of the plants the right kind of magic at all times.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we love formulas. But that sounds fun. Like, again, it sounds like one of those things that, like, verbally I'm like, oh man, that's a lot to keep track of. But I could see just the, oh yeah, no, I guess like it's second nature at this point. I'm like, oh, that's not a fire guy. Don't touch him. Don't put him out. The water's gonna put him out. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's all color based, so it's not like... The way I describe it makes it sound way harder than it really is.
Okay.
It's just hard to explain plainly, especially since English isn't my first language, damn it.
Sorry, I'm just saying, if everyone just learned English like us, Just be really easy. But you ought to go learn other languages, I guess. But any other thoughts on Grimoire Grove?
I have to say I backed it on Kickstarter because I enjoyed the early demo of it, and I was really looking forward to if like the full game would deliver on the promise of that demo, and it does.
Hell yeah. We love it.
It does so well. Yeah.
Get it, team. That'll be out on Thursday, so the day this episode goes out. Grimoire Grove.
No, it's already out.
Is it already out?
The date on the trailer is they actually
dropped early.
Fast forward the release date to the 4th.
Look at these guys. Indies don't be doing that, dog. They be shadow dropper like, we'll see you on the day. They're like, yeah, we'll come out 2 days early. Fuck it, right? Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, it's available now. Go play.
Yeah.
Now, timestamp. I'm not gonna lie. Grimoire Grove, cool and all. This is the one I need to hear about. So, you played another game. You played the demo, which is not Next Fest affiliated, but so I got to hear it.
No. Yeah, this demo released right when Next Fest ended.
Okay.
Which is a choice, I guess.
They're probably saving for another Next Fest. Be like, we're actually in it, but right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I talked a lot about wanting to become a witch in Grimoire Groves.
Yep.
How about a game where you want to become a witch? Because yes, Ritual of Raven is all about that. In this one, you end up in a world where magic is real, coming from the real world through some kind of portal that you don't know what's going on with. In this new world, you are awaited by Sage, a witch who has just seen her familiar Flufferstoop, that's actually his name, disappear through that same portal. As you are now part of this world, you have to learn how to become a witch through using arcana constructs who farm the ingredients you need for your spells. So this is a farming-based witch game.
I love it.
You are ably helped by your own familiar, Raven the Raven, because names are a thing.
Yeah, it's simple. Keep it easy, Why complicate things?
Yeah. This game is brought to us by Spellgarden Games, who are the devs of one of my all-time favorite games, Sticky Business.
Which we love on this channel. We love Sticky Business.
Oh, yeah. It is colorful, it's delightful, it plays like a dream, and this is one of my most anticipated titles for the year. And playing the demo has only confirmed all of that.
Hell yeah. Oh, it looks so cute. Yep. I love the art style. I love seeing the Spellgarden logo and being like, we've seen the little frog character again, like their iconic frog as like a creature or a plush or something in the world. And seeing that Spellgarden style translated into this more like isometric garden, like life sim thing is really precious. And like, this is not the move I expected from them next. I really would have guessed like a Sticky Business 2 with like, here's more options for your stickers. But seeing like, all right, cool. We figured that out. Let's try this. I'm like, ooh, okay. You made a move and I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool thing is, despite being an isometric game, it still really looks like Sticky Business.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly they did that, but like when you see this game and you've played Sticky Business, but you don't know that this is the same dev, you'll immediately realize this is yeah.
Yeah, you guys look like a Sticky Business game, don't you? Yeah. Oh. Hell yeah. I'm really excited for this one. Do we have a date? Do you know it's 2025?
I think it's just 2025. Let me check if that has changed.
It doesn't look like it.
No.
Gosh dang. Well, sometime this year then. Or sometime in the future, because we know how demos go and how games and indies. And we're like, hey, actually 2027 sounds more like it.
But that was my very final demo and review for this episode.
Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, well, I guess that's not totally true because you have those indie spawn line. But hey, My voice is disappearing, so let's try and wrap this bad boy up. Let's talk about the indies releasing this week, quickly flying through it. March 6th through March 12th, we have Split Fiction coming out March 6th, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. If you want to see that one, Kanai and I always stream that on Thursday night, tonight when the episode drops, so be sure to come hang out and watch us play through that. Then we have Slime Heroes, which just got pushed back to March 6th on Xbox and PC. We have Mars Vice coming out March 6th for PC, Bookbound on March 6th for PC, Sugar Dew Island on March 7th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Wormhole, Brush and Banter on March 7th for PC, Wanderstop on March 11th for PlayStation and PC, Ooblin Party on March 11th for PC, Centum on March 11th for PlayStation, Switch, and PC, Call of Boba on March 11th for PC. I did not know that was in March. That's got to go on the list. If you guys hadn't realized, I haven't finished my March video yet. Now some things have changed. Now I got to fix it, but that's okay. And then finally, Expelled comes out on March 12th for Switch and PC. A lot of bangers in there. Very excited for Wanderstop. Very excited for Call of Boba. And very excited for Split Fiction. Those are definitely my highlights.
Yeah, same here. Maybe Expelled as well, because that's a kind like a spiritual sequel to Overboard.
Yeah,
which I really enjoyed. So that should be good. But yeah, Wanderstop is the standout for me.
That's the banger. That's the thumbnail game, guys. That one's going on the thumbnail team. We love that. Hell yeah, let us know which games you're looking forward to. Meanwhile, Topher, it's our indie spotlight. We talk about games that people don't know about or upcoming ones. So now you got to tell me about this game that you put on here.
Yes, I can tell you about Scarlet Hollow. Since the Visual Novel Fest is going on Steam, this one is on sale at the moment. It is the first game from the same devs who made Slay the Princess. It is in early access at the moment because they are releasing this game episodically. And they stopped for a while because Slay the Princess was taking off. Mm-hmm. But they just updated the first chapters with over 70,000 extra words.
Jesus.
So this really is the time to be picking up this one. If you're in doubt, even with like the sale going on, you can play the first chapter completely for free. And your save file from that free playthrough will convert to the full game.
We love it. Try it before you buy
Basically,
it,
what happens in this game is you go back to Scarlet Hollow for a funeral. Someone related to you, but like not really close to you, has died, and you have to go back to Scarlet Hollow and find out what your inheritance will be. And you meet up with the people of this town, and things get weird. That's all I'm gonna say, because you have to know as little as possible about this game. But if you love Slay the Princess, you're gonna adore this one.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing, right? Like we always get, like we just talked about, Ritual Ravens is like from the guys who made this, like we're talking about their next game versus like, hey, if you like Slay the Princess, this is their first game. This is their previous one. Like check this one out too. And now seeing that it's getting closer to completion, being like, we put it on pause, but now we're back. Like now I'm like, okay, hold on. As I'm conveniently wearing my Slay the Princess shirt that I just got from Fangamer, really cool shirt. Nice. But yeah, no, this one looks really dope. We talked about it a couple times. It's on the wish list now, where I'm like, I gotta check it out at some point. So I think it's be a fun one to have.
The thing that really impresses me with this game is just that there are so many choices you can make, and they've made different, like the story can be completely different for me and for you, depending on the choices we make.
Yeah.
And that's just with one episode. But then starting the next episode, just the start of that next episode can be completely different depending on what we did in the previous episode. They've put so much in there. It blows my mind.
Our games will never be the same. That's really dope. Yeah, that game looks sick. It's I gotta pick that one up eventually here. But with that was our indie spotlight. And hey, guys, we're done. We're gonna wrap this bad boy up. You know what I mean?
Already?
Already? Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta Move on and do the damn thing. Guys, thank you so much for listening to us ramble about indie games for a collective about 5 hours between the last episode and this one. Don't worry, next week we'll be back to our normal scheduled program. We'll be closer to our hour and a half-ish mark. Or we'll ramble, we never know. There was a conversation about we should get closer to an hour, but then it's like, do we drop the news part? Do we do whatever? We'll figure it out. But you know. Mm-hmm. Definitely not as long as they have been these last couple of weeks, but that is A-OK. Topher, if the people on the interwebs wanted to find you, where would they go?
The easiest way to find me is through my link tree, which is play.nice.kids in one word. And also, I forgot to mention, if you want like more eloquent words on Grimoire Groves, I wrote a review for so many games.co.uk.
There you have it, team. Be sure to check it out. I just pulled up our schedule for next week to make sure I know what we're doing. Right, that is a discussion. I feel that out there. But anyway, yeah, you can find me at CGDannyB on everything. Don't forget Sunday nights. It is Fallout 313 available over on the Hack Recklessly Twitch channel. Those will be live at 6 p.m. Eastern. If I recall, it's 3 weeks on, and then we have a week where everybody's at a con, and then it's 3 weeks on again. So it'll be 2 more weeks from here, break, 3 more weeks, and then that'll be the series. It'll be like a 6-episode session. So if you want to get some Fallout TTRPG stuff and watch me be a super adorable super giant who likes flowers and stuff, be sure to come check it out. And with that, I'm done. I'm ready to stop looking at you guys. Toodles.